All right, what's good? It's your boy Jay Savage, and I am the host of the first episode of Time for Toku Podcast. I am joined with an amazing group of people. Today we have our friend Dan.
Yo.
We have the man, Deca.
Is muted.
And he is muted, yes. We also have Peter, not Peter Parker.
What's up?
We have our boy Miggy. Let's not
What's
mistake him
good,
for
guys?
Ziggy. And we have Mr. Awesome, but he's only also sometimes.
Wow.
We also have Chelsea.
Hiya.
The
Sorry,
queen
guys, my
of the
laptop shut off.
And we have Blaze, who's just now joining us. And we have last, but not least, Pekka.
Heyo.
Yay. We are. All right, so we're going to start off this podcast with a little introduction, get to know everybody, have everybody get to know us. And we are going to start with our favorite Power Ranger season. Now, me personally, I will go first. My favorite is Time Force. Why? Not only do we have the best Red Ranger of all time, I don't care how y'all feel.
That's
Not only do we have the best Pink Ranger of all time, still don't care how you feel. But we also have the best villain, Franzik. We have one of the best story arcs, character development from our boy Wes, who actually started off not the leader, in my opinion. He was more of a, I would say, he was still like leader qualities, but he wasn't like necessarily like that tough leader that he grew to be towards the end of the season. I think Jen was actually the leader, which is amazing because to me, she was the first Pink Ranger leader. And definitely, I would say Time Force is my favorite season. We had one of the best Six Rangers of all time, Eric, and one of the only seasons to have two Red Rangers. We necessarily, I'll say we have the best fucking uniforms, the best helmets, best visors, and Time Force was so good we almost had a movie. So that's my 2 cents on why Time Force is my favorite season. We're going to start off with Dan, and I want you to let everybody know what your favorite season is.
All right. My favorite season is Dino Thunder. And the reason why is, well, I'm a big JDF Tommy fan. That's one big reason. But another reason I love it is because, not because he's solely in it, but because he's a part of a bigger story. And I love all the characters I love. Connor, Kira, Ethan, Trent. Mazagog is an amazing villain, both visually and just like the way he talks. Like, yes. You know, that like he's one of the last few actually scary villains we've had on the show. Like he's Lord Zed level to me. Like it's just like he's creepy, scary. It's great, and just he hasn't been replicated since. So yeah, I just and what else? Just love the show's history about. I love the suits. What else would I like? Just Fighting Spirit is also my number one favorite episode of all time. With a just amazing episode. I want that buried with me because love it that much. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And if you want to know any more else about me, I'm one of the. You won't find me on Facebook or Instagram because I'm banned off there. I'm also a filmmaker. I'm also a filmmaker, martial artist. I'm working on a series of 3 fan films. Morphin Origins you can find on YouTube under my Morphin Origins and my name Dan Romano. So if you want to look it up and subscribe. But other than that, that's one more interesting thing about me is if you own the Power Ranger box sets, if you watch the fans Power Up, you'll see me on it. I'm on them. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Been around celebrity.
Basically, I've been around the.
You picked a great season. I actually do think Mr. Gog is one of the greatest villains of all time from Power Rangers. He's personally my favorite. So definitely a great choice. And I do think Dino Thunder has one of the best action scenes. Now that I
Thank
think
you.
about it, it might be the best. I gotta
Yeah.
rewatch RPM to figure out, but definitely Dino Thunder is top tier for me. But I ain't don't even know who's going all that depth into each other. If y'all really want to know more about your boy, the most handsomest, the most awesomest, the most important person in this podcast,
The kids in here are sitting confused right now.
I am currently an unemployed bum with 8 kids. Yes, and I have plenty of baby mama drama. So next we're going on to
Living
my
the
boy
life.
Peter. Tell us about yourself and what's your favorite season?
My favorite season is Power Rangers in Space.
Ooh.
If we're talking about concluding story arcs, that concludes 6 years of history intended as the series finale, and it just rounds off really everything so well, ties up everything in a bow. It would have been the perfect send-off if it did end there. We have good cameos and 2 decent sort of team-up episodes with Adam and Justin kind of rounding out their arcs as well. And it gives us some of the greatest villains in the show's history with Ecliptor and Astronema. Those are like my 2 favorites. The Psycho Rangers, I think, get a little over-loved, but I still enjoy them for what they were. The series finale, like the season finale for it, is fantastic. That's like they went all out with the production value of it.
One of the best ever.
It's in my book, it is the best ever. It is just the perfect blend of everything for in space, like the series. The only thing I would have done differently is maybe have a few other Ranger cameos, like in the final battle, to just like round off the closure aspect of it if it was going to end. But other than that, that's pretty much it for my favorite season. I can't gush over it anymore. The suits, the morphers those are one of my favorites. Just the wrist morpher with the button. I love it. It's just perfect.
Good choice. Good choice. I mean, In Space is definitely top 5 in my opinion, if not one of the best finales we've ever seen. And
Plus,
it was a good conclusion in the whole to like Power Rangers. Like, if anything, if that was like our final season, I would not complain. It ended that perfect,
they even searched for Zordon at one point in the Dagobah system, bringing Yoda in to help. So that is also an interesting fun fact.
And they also killed Zordon, which is another fun fact. So
That
yeah,
is
fuck you In Space.
true. That is true. R.I.P.
Well. Once again, fucking Space for killing Zordon. But we're not gonna bash the season too much. We're gonna go and throw ourselves over to Blaze, and you tell us your favorite season. Blaze.
Are you
I
live?
think Blaze died
Hello?
again. So we're gonna go to Miggy. Yo, Miggy, you tell us your favorite season and why.
All right, what's good, guys? I was like debating it over a while, and like it's a big toss up for me between Ninja Storm, SPD, and Dino Thunder, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Ninja Storm just because
Hey,
the suits are sleek as fuck. The fucking the flip from like Evil Ranger to like the last 2 auxiliary to complete the team, and then adding another Billy character as the 6th Ranger is just so perfect. And then on top of all of that, Lothar is such great comedic relief while at the same time being a really great baddie. And they ported all of the Sentai baddies like in such a great way that made them work with the dynamic that like it was just great. And they didn't have to like pull the whole like high school gimmick thing for like instead like they're all like extreme sports or sports affiliated like kinds of people. So it's like it was a cool twist on things, and like and like the fact that Sensei and Lothar were both played by the same persons, and then they both wound up being brothers at the end was also a pretty dope twist. So I don't know, it was a pretty cool season and a nice refresher for the Disney era for me. So yeah.
That's a good choice for sure. That's actually like one of my favorite color combinations that they did. I'm surprised they're not bold enough
for
to
sure.
pull that off again. But
Mhm.
it was really perfect. Like,
Yeah, it's also one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
definitely.
It was a big toss up between that and Dino Thunder, because Dino Thunder is what like got me actually into Sentai, doing that whole Lost in Translation episode.
Ooh.
But like overall, like Ninja Storm just it's top tier for like the newer
100%
like,
agree.
seasons.
Ninja Storm is definitely the most similar season to Dino Thunder compared to like any other season, to be honest.
For sure.
We're gonna go over to Odd Frog, aka Chelsea, and I want you to let us know what's your favorite season and why.
My favorite season is Samurai. Even though it gets a lot of hate, it got me back into the show at a point where I didn't realize Power Rangers was even still going on, because when Jetix died, that was my connection was lost. So I didn't know that we had Jungle Fury, RPM, or Operation Overdrive until Nick picked up the show.
So it's your version of Mighty Morphin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like I knew about the show before that, because I grew up watching all the way from Wild Force to Mystic Force.
Okay.
And then, it gives us the first, well, not so much the first female Red Power Ranger, but technically, as far as the timeline's concerned, she is. And the cast chemistry was just really good. I think they worked really well for what they were given.
Honestly, though, real quick, I would say this though. Like lately, I've been rewatching Samurai and Megaforce, and I know I used to trash them and hate them at first, but now I kind of think they're a little overhated. I think
Definitely.
Yeah,
people.
I really like
I
that
agree.
one too.
I love
I think-
Megaforce.
People watched it once and like ran with it and like hear all the bad reviews and just go on. A lot of people haven't even seen those seasons and just think it's bad because everyone else say it's bad. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I actually went back and rewatched it myself, and it's not the best, yeah. But what were you expecting? Like, what high like pedestal were you putting that season on to begin with? Like, the theme song for me is trash. Yes, they rehash MMPR. But the season itself is not terrible. Like it's honestly not much different from Dino Charge and Beast Morphers. The seasons that everyone else says is good. So I mean,
sure.
all seasons from Neo Saban had their hit and miss. Definitely though, Samurai is one of the better seasons I think Nickelodeon put out.
Of course.
And
For
great
sure.
answer. Lauren is actually the GOAT, and she should have been a Red Ranger from the jump. My opinion. But
I think they should have been able to co-lead. That would have been interesting to see two Red Rangers have to interact and learn to lead together.
like a
Yeah, I
Wes
would've really
and
liked
Eric
that.
type.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that would be
That
cool
would have
actually.
been cool, and it also could have like given a lot of opportunity to do a lot of like local footage that they haven't done in like a long ass time, in my opinion.
Mike is also an amazing character. He don't get enough credit, but Mike is like
For sure.
he's too good for
For
Power
sure.
Rangers, in my opinion.
He wants to come back
They
as a
need
villain.
to cut
Oh,
that check.
that'd be.
He wants to be a villain, he said, which like a
Oh,
Decker type thing.
I just thought about something that we'll get into later, but yeah, I'd like to see that. You just gave me an idea.
Nice. Text me it so I can steal it. All right, so we're also going on to our guy, Tenkai. The most loved person in here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell us.
Yeah.
Tell us your favorite season.
Well,
And
I
why.
was. I was going to say Samurai, but of course, since Chelsea stole it from me, I have to.
I mean, if it's your
think
favorite
of-
season, go for it.
Yeah, well, she already kind of used most of the reasoning I did. So
Second
instead,
favorite.
yeah, well, and my second favorite is actually Ninja Storm, but of course, Miggy said that as well. So my third favorite, which I'm going to talk about, is probably the one everyone loves, which aside from Time Force and in Space, my favorite
I need more
season. My favorite season is going to be RPM. This season is in my opinion the best. It easily has the best Green and Black Ranger of all time because Ziggy and Dylan. Ziggy is just hilarious, first of all, and Dylan, just like the story, he was the main character. I'm just gonna say Dylan was the main character, not Ska, not anyone else. It was him. Flynn, he was also really hilarious. He was a great Blue Ranger. Ska, I'm gonna put out such a hot take. He was kind of forgettable in my opinion. He's not the most memorable of Reds, but he was still really good. Summer was really good, despite just being kind of the girl. They did her really well. Gem and Gemma, I wasn't really the biggest fan of, but they were still fine. The villain, so Venjix, they won. It won. I don't really know the pronouns, but Venjix won essentially. That was the whole plot of the show. Venjix won. They created a huge apocalypse and wiped out every part of the earth aside of what was the name of the city? Corinth. Yeah.
Corn, yeah.
Yeah, and then the Rangers had to the Rangers were essentially a rebellion against Venjix, and yeah, it's just it's really, really good, and essentially was so much better than its Sentai counterpart, Fight Me, but yeah, this RPM did.
No one likes his Sentai counterpart. Come on.
Yeah. So I was gonna think of a way to finish this off, but nah, that's all I got. RPM is just the best. What can I say?
Finish it with a mic drop.
Yep. There, I just finished it off.
Just thumps. Just slams his head on the desk. Did you guys hear that?
Did you guys hear that? I got brain damage now.
Hey,
but
Blaze
I
finally
think
back
RPM
on.
is definitely the best season.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite, but I can
Of
admit
course.
it is the best season out, definitely. And last but not least, we got Blaze. Are you alive yet?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, shit.
Hey.
He's back from the dead.
Hooray!
Blaze resurrected. You want to tell us your favorite season and why?
I wonder what it is.
Okay, so I think it's obvious from my profile picture. My favorite season
Ninja Storm.
is SPD. In my opinion, it has one of the coolest theme songs, and they brought back
Of
Ron
course.
Massman in order to make it. They have the coolest
show.
suits with some really cool helmet designs. Donkey Kruger was an amazing mentor and ranger, and Jack is probably one of my favorite rangers. He went from being not so great as a leader and not taking his leadership seriously to someone who can grow as a leader and handle it pretty well. Donkey Kruger was also pretty great. He was able to take down 100 Crybots and General Banog all by himself without any help. In addition, the weapons are really cool, especially the Delta Blasters. How they're two guns that can combine into one. The Delta Max Strikers are also really cool. How they're a rod and knuckle that can combine into a gun. The Omega Ranger is also pretty cool. I mean, sure, he has his faults, but the fact that he can slow down time and catch a bunch of laser pellets is, in my opinion, a pretty cool feat.
Agreed.
And
But
let's not forget the badass Battleizer with the
the
Battleizer bomb.
Battleizer, that was pretty cool.
yeah, that was Flames for sure.
Also, the Battleizer got in the Sentai in the Magic Ranger vs. Deca Ranger movie.
Yeah, that's right. I
It
saw a clip of that.
did.
Normally, I would say something positive about every season that everyone mentioned, but the only thing I really got to say about SPD is if you haven't seen it, there's a dog with dreads. That's all I'm going to say about that season.
Yo, but that design though, the design that they did for Doggy Kruger was way better than the Deca Ranger counterpart that looks like
Oh yeah,
they
for
just bought
sure.
it off
Hands
of
down.
like Party City.
Yeah, no contest.
Yeah,
was a
like
high
both
school
are
math
great characters,
anyway.
but the American one has a better design.
Oh, way
Easily.
better.
Yeah.
And John Toy made
I don't
him
doubt
that
that.
much
I don't
more
doubt that.
amazing because he's such an amazing actor and everything.
Yeah.
The Sentai counterpart though, he kind of looks like one of the masters from Juggle Fury.
He kind of does.
Little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Little bit.
You're right.
Looks, in other words, it looks terrible. But nah, Doggy Kruger though, like, think about it though. The guy had to be high as shit though to like think about that shit. Yo, let me just throw dreads on him, bro. He's gonna look fire.
Yeah.
You know what? You know Jack from SPD? Yeah, make him look just like him, but a dog version.
Yeah.
But no, I think SPD is also a GOAT season. I mean, Disney has some bangers though. Like really sit there and think about it.
Nah, Bruce
Like, a lot
Kalish
of-
had a good run.
He really
Yeah.
did.
He killed it.
Like everyone like praises all the early Saban seasons. But if you watch like Disney seasons though, I think my opinion, Saban had good seasons though. They didn't have any misses except for Turbo when I think about it. But
Stood out.
the Disney seasons though, like they had better action scenes, they had better actors, they had the most littest, craziest stories. Like if you watch the pre-Saban seasons, they're all like the same thing, right? They're
Yeah.
like, okay, we got these 5 people, and they really only got crazy. Like I would say Wild Force, making Cole like some wild like guy raised in the jungle or something. And Lightspeed having like underground, like, which was amazing by the way, the whole water base. But other than that though, everything was pretty simple. Where you go to Disney, it's like, okay, boom, we got ninjas. All right,
Magic
boom.
exists.
Now we got people in the future fighting with aliens. Boom. Then they got Mystic Force. We got like, what are they? Wizards, yeah. It's like Disney had all these crazy ideas. Even Operation Overdrive had Mac be a
Treasure
robot.
hunting.
Yeah, treasure hunting. Like it was just so cool. Jungle Fury, you know, RPM with the apocalyptic settings and everything. Disney has some fire like ideas for their seasons. Where early Saban was still a good season, don't get me wrong. Because my favorite, obviously, Time Force is a part of it. But it weren't enough. Like Time Force probably the most different they ever been with the whole time travel. But they still kind of copied that from Time Ranger. Like it was literally story from story, the same thing. So I mean, I can't give them too much credit for that. But
You could kind of say the same thing about SPD though, because like if you watch them, like some of the episodes side by side, they're basically carbon copies, but just American.
SPD gets the jump because of the amazing cast they had, the money they put into it,
No, for sure.
redesigns. Like normally, if it was a pre-Saban season, I guarantee Doggy Kruger would look exactly like his Sentai counterpart.
Yeah, they would have just bought the head right off fucking Toei
Exactly.
and like just reused it.
Like Xenoway.
Yeah, Saban as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Something else the Disney seasons dared to do was give the mortal versions of the Rangers superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like,
I like
before
every
that-
single Ranger too.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
right.
It's a
The
very
civilian
balanced
powers.
Yeah. And before that, the only person who had like a civilian power, if you will, was Andros's telekinesis, which they used like 3 times, and then we're like, oh, he has telekinesis? Who knew?
The first 3 episodes, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they forgot about it.
He's
Exactly.
a Jedi.
It costs money, okay?
Oh yeah,
They
another
ran
thing,
out of strings.
another thing about Doggy Kruger is that in his American counterpart, he's a lot more expressive than in Deca Ranger.
Way more.
Wait, yep.
His mouth actually moves.
That was all
Yeah.
Greg Ornowitz and his animatronics. It was so cool. Greg's a great guy.
Particle effects are cool in general.
Yeah. And then they brought in the A-team at the very end to throw that plot twist in. And then
Oh, that was-
the Ranger versus Ranger thing to bring it all together. It was so sick.
Yeah.
The A Squad, though, they were like always looked so evil, anyways. So it's
Yeah.
like you can tell, like when Doggy Kruger like hired them, he didn't think to himself like, You guys look pretty angry and evil. You know what? You guys to get the job done.
But I
Then
think
they're all
it's
wearing, like-
because they looked so fucked up that he was like, no, these guys will do anything to get the job done.
Walking
Especially
around in
that
fucking
blue,
biker shoulder pads, biker suits. Oh my god, this was so terrible.
Yeah, they did reuse the in space helmet. It said they painted the black one to green to match with the B Squad.
Oh yeah, that is the same helmet, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
and
The
they did
Orange
the callback
Ranger
to
had the
Time
same
Force.
too, right? When
Yeah.
Boom
Yeah.
turned to a Ranger, that was an in space helmet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
was the
they
Orange
did painted it
Ranger.
orange.
Hilarious. But Mickey, what were you saying about Time Force?
Oh no, they did that callback to Time Force when they showed Sky looking at a picture of his dad who was a Ranger too, and he had the Time Force uniform on.
We're about to open a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah.
So, does Sky have daddy issues? Question mark.
Yes.
100%, yeah.
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 Was that Disney only daddy issue season?
Mac.
Yes,
Or
it
did
No.
the next two seasons after
No,
that
no.
also have
And-
daddy issues?
Mac
And Ninja Storm with Cam.
Mystic Force.
Yep.
Oh,
And
yeah,
Operation
Cam, too.
Overdrive.
RPM.
Oh yeah.
Getting
And
here.
Jungle Fury. Because RJ and the Shark Spirit Ranger.
So is it not just Neil Saban that has daddy issues, and even the Disney season?
No,
all
the only
had-
thing is that the Disney seasons try to utilize the daddy issues, and the Neo Samantha was just like, yeah, their dads suck. Anyways, action scenes and explosions.
Deadbeat dads. Yes.
The thing is, too, with the Rangers we just mentioned, it was mostly different color Rangers, not specifically red. Usually in the Saban and Neo Saban, it's been all red Rangers who have dad issues. That's the only difference, pretty much, you know?
Yeah.
Like Cam's green, RJ's purple. Who else?
Sky.
Ice
Sky.
Blue.
Yeah, Sky,
Blue
and then
red.
and then just Mac. Mac's the only
Who's
one.
red?
Red. Yeah, he's
Right
the
on
only
top,
red
yeah.
one, pretty much. Who
Scott had it too.
they're the only two reds though of the Disney era who
At least
really
And
had
Mac had
dad
his dad
issues.
though.
Yeah,
His dad actually stuck around. All right, so we're going to move on to the next topic. We are going to talk about Sentai, you know?
Mhm.
The season that we're
Yeah.
all going to be watching when Power Rangers get canceled.
Oh.
But I will start it off, of course. So, my favorite, no, it's not Time Ranger, but it is Ryu Soldier for a few reasons. And literally just a few reasons because I haven't finished it. But my favorite so far, this is my favorite Megazord battles I've seen or Mecha battles, if I want to call it. I've seen in any Sentai season. I don't know if like the budget's better or they actually got people in the suits this time. I don't know. But if you guys know what I'm talking about, you can Google like Ryu Soldier mecha fights. They have like the best I've seen. I'm thinking about it right now. And yes, it's the best I've seen. Other than that one Tokuverse scene where like the train had a giant boner. But
Yeah.
other than that, definitely the best Megazord scenes I've ever seen. And just hold on, just the suits in general though, like the suits, the battleizers, the power-ups, like I really feel like Ryu Soldier like really took his time and like made it look good. Like you can tell some seasons you're like, bro, that was probably smoking crack in like the creative rooms when they like made certain shit. But like Ryu Soldier, like just everything about it looks beautiful. Like I want to pull up pictures. I'm gonna pull up pictures for the video you guys are watching. But if you look at these pictures I posted in the future, these suits look gorgeous. They look amazing. They're beautiful. And Cole is an amazing Red Ranger, I think, in my opinion. One of the best. And the way he just like sacrificed, spoiler alert. I'm sorry, he sacrificed himself and it was so sad. But enough of that. Right, so it's just my favorite Sentai season. And we're going on to Dan.
Let's see. My favorite would probably be it's between Dai Ranger and Kaku Ranger.
Mm.
But between the two, I'd probably have to say Dai Ranger because I just love the fighting styles of it, and I'm sorry I can't remember everyone's names in the Sentai, but I just remember because I watched it a couple of years ago. But just I really liked everything about it, and the Zords are so cool. And, I mean, of course, we got them here, but and I love the monsters and stuff like that, and the villains were interesting too. But I think it's a pretty great season. So to go with Dai Ranger.
Everyone do themselves a favor. Go to Shout Factory and watch Dai Ranger. It is amazing.
Yeah,
It is
one of the best ones.
one of the best. And if you are wondering why Tommy looks so freaking different as a White Ranger, here's the explanation. Also, he's like a 12-year-old boy in the Sentai counterpart.
He's terrible.
Yeah,
So,
blowing
yeah.
wind up girls' skirts.
That was great.
If you always wanted a better version of Justin, watch Dai Ranger. And we're moving on to Deca Blaze. What's your favorite Sentai? I can tell what it is though, but we'll let you say it. Wait, he died again. Shit.
Again,
Yo, Deca is like the what's his name from South Park?
Kenny.
The Kenny. Yeah, Deca's like the Kenny. He just keeps dying on us.
I didn't want to say anything, but like,
Holy shit, you killed Kenny.
You
You
bastards!
Again.
I guess we'll move on to Peter. What's your favorite Sentai, bro?
All right, I've only watched 2 in my life so far. So out of the 2 that include Jetman and Gokaiger, I would probably go Gokaiger out of the 2 because I knew most of the references to previous series because of Power Rangers, and I liked the idea of it, them using kind of stolen / pirated Ranger powers to fight off the evil empire. And Captain Marvelous is a great character. I thought he was fantastic. And
despite the name.
Yes. It was a fun season, even though I didn't really know all of the references to like the older Sentai, but I could figure it out, and I wanted to get into it more because of all of that. It's kind of a good gateway series to other previous Sentai if you haven't watched them. That's why I wanted to start watching them, because of that one. So yeah, that's mine.
Yes, Gokaiger is an amazing season, man. Actually, one thing I really liked about it was the pirate suits. I think that was probably the only to do a pirate theme, if I'm not mistaken.
It was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Such
coulda
beautiful
had-
suits.
Yes, it's probably the best suits I've ever seen, and it would have been freaking amazing to get pirate Power Rangers. But damn, Super Mega Force.
Fucking
Yeah.
Super Mega Force.
So yeah, if you ever wanted a Power Ranger with pirates, go watch Gokaiger. It's Mega Force done better, my opinion. And we're gonna actually move on to Chelsea. Hey,
I actually don't know jack about Sentai.
is
Oh,
there any seasons in particular that you think looks good and want to dive into?
I literally am absolutely clueless. The only time I've encountered Sentai would be that Lost in Translation episode. So I guess I'd want to know more about that
Right.
season, because I was like, what's going on here? Is that actually happening?
And actually, a fun fact: Samurai is an exact copy and paste of his counterpart, like word for word, scene for scene. So, like, if you want to watch, I guess, an uncut raw version of that, always check out his counterpart. Cool.
With a
And
better
we're gonna-
wardrobe.
yeah.
Yeah, true.
For sure.
An actual like samurais. So we're gonna move on to Mickey. What's good, bro?
My favorite two would have to be either Gokaiger because of Guy, and he was basically every Sentai fan's.
Mhm.
You just lived vicariously through him, like fanboying over meeting his favorite Sentais, and it's just it made me feel so validated that like I wasn't alone in freaking out over all the little things. But over Gokaiger, I would have to say my favorite Sentai season would be Akiba Ranger.
Yes.
That's a good
Because
one.
Akiba Ranger was 100% uncut. They did not give any fuck. And they just went hard. Their home base was a fucking Sentai cafe. That you got to see all this rare merch. They morphed with this weird fucking Moe doll and like,
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
yeah, the Moe Moe Zukyun. Great.
Oh yeah.
Great power-ups. The storyline was even like actually really well done, and like they paid decent respect to all the past Sentai while still being able to parody them. So I'd have to say that's my top.
Real question is it canon?
If the Sentai verse is a multiverse like the Power Rangers universe, then yes.
Different
probably,
dimensions.
Yeah.
What if like you went to that dimension, right? And every Power Ranger season had mullets.
Had mullets?
Mm-hmm. Like the
Oh,
crazy
God.
hairstyle for like
No.
all their helmets. Like one guy
Like-
has like a crazy mohawk. Another
Actually-
guy helmet has the beaver fade.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that would be crazy.
I would
Yeah, since-
trip the fuck out.
Yeah, because Power Rangers, I
One-
think, was a.
The SPD version, they all have dreads in their helmets.
Yes.
Hey, what's up, Tenkai?
All right, so I guess I'm next. So, since we were just talking about Samurai earlier and Shinkenger, my favorite season is obviously going to be Shinkenger. So before I get into it, I just want to say to anyone who's watching and grew up with Power Ranger Samurai like I did, highly recommend Shinkenger because I think it's better if like you watch Samurai first, especially when you grew up with it, because like when I watched Shinkenger for the first time, not only did I really like the show, I felt like really nostalgic about it because like obviously it's just Samurai's just copy and paste Shinkenger. So it's like when I watched the episodes, it's like, oh, I remember this. Oh, I remember that happening. It's just better in this version. So yeah. Anyway, Shinkenger. Also want to say, incredibly beautiful suits. I'm just gonna pop a picture in there. Hopefully, Savage will edit a picture of the suits in there. Amazing suits. I love the kanji
Yes,
on
sir.
the kanji on the helmets and how the gi is like adapted into the spandex. It just looks so good. Not to mention the best Red Ranger of all time, counting both Power Rangers and Sentai. Takeru, in my opinion, is the best Red Ranger ever. Same I can say for Genta. I don't know about counting Power Rangers in there, but he is definitely the best Sentai Gold. And everyone else is the best of their own color. Oh my god, this I don't even have words for this show. Like it's just everything about it is just good. The characters, the aesthetics, the villains, the story. The story wasn't bad. I really like the morphers, the Shotophone. Like, oh, this.
Over
I
there
just-
having orgasms about it, bro.
Oh yeah, I
You
have
have
no
to, like,
idea. No idea.
Hmm.
Like I think aside from Gokaiger and Jetman, this is the best Sentai. I'd also say this is probably one of the best. Not only is this one of my favorite Sentai shows, it's probably my favorite Toku show of all time. It's easily one of the best. Highly recommend it to everyone.
That's highly
Yeah.
praised.
Yeah. I also
Well,
think it's
looks
actually
like Chelsea, you better get to watching because you might really have a reason to like Samurai.
yeah.
And Chimatsuri Dokoku has just got such a great villain design too. Like,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Also,
so perfect.
also Juzo, I really like.
Oh my
Decker's
God.
Oh,
counterpart.
gee, yeah.
Episode
agree.
11. Episode 11.
Yeah, and that
That
fight
three-way
scene.
fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I pissed
I also
my
think it's
pants.
I actually think it's considered the most popular Sentai in Japan too.
For good
I don't
reason.
blame. Yeah.
It could be. Well, Mr. Awesome, how you doing?
Pretty good.
You want to tell us your favorite Sentai season and why?
I'd probably say
We can't
Deca
hear
Ranger
you.
because that.
Oh, I can hear him. I can hear him.
Oh.
Okay, I would say freaking Deca Ranger because that's the first Sentai that I watched. I can't say I finished it because I didn't have a good way to freaking like watch it officially. But what I have watched, I definitely like the character. I definitely like the Red Ranger, which is I grew up watching Shonen like Dragon Ball, all that stuff, and just seeing him um just having fun in his battles, kind of just joking around, especially when you see his first appearance when he first morphed. Like that would instantly caught my attention.
I'm actually surprised no one's mentioned that season.
I don't even know what season he's talking about.
Deca
Deca.
Ranger.
Speaking of Deca Ranger, Deca, you're up next. What's your favorite Sentai?
The same as Mr. Awesome, Deca Ranger. That's my first Sentai, and yeah, I love it for the same reasons why I like SBD. Great suits, great stories, weapons. In fact, Deca Ranger is a lot. Deca Ranger is a lot more mature and can tell more mature storytelling.
In my opinion, they have the best, well, not the best, but one of the best movies out there.
I haven't watched Deca Ranger Full Blast Action, but I would like to watch it.
And I think it's
You know
pretty
what's
dope.
cool?
What was
I
that?
usually don't care.
Now, is this I find it pretty cool because in SBD they introduced the Battleizer, Jack. But when they did a crossover movie with the Sentai counterpart of Mystic Force, they actually brought that American Battleizer into that movie.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. That's like a good callback to Power Rangers. Nobody said Go Busters. Nobody
Go
said
Busters.
Go Busters.
Sorry, haven't watched it.
You
Oh
could have
my
said it
God.
yourself.
I like.
I watched
I
parts
I,
of
I,
it.
I
I
might
would have
skip it.
honestly, I would have mentioned it if I knew none of y'all were cultured like that. You call yourselves Toku people, but haven't seen Go Busters.
Well,
The
I've
one
seen.
Sentai that gives Power Rangers multiple shout outs.
The Let's
Like-
Morph In and all that shit.
Yeah, but Go
It's morphin'
Busters.
time.
It's
Go Busters is
morphin'
below
time.
average though, so
Go Busters
Yeah.
was made for Americans. They even did the whole spy thing. That's an American thing.
Mhm.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It's okay. I know all of you are adding it to your watch list right now, and you won't disappoint me
Maybe.
when I come back and ask you guys about it. All right, we got to know everyone, and introduce everybody, and set our favorite seasons and why. Obviously, Time Force is everyone else's favorite season, or just being nice, and didn't want to have all the same seasons. So I get it, I appreciate it, guys. But come on, we know it's a real season is Time Force. But Dino Fury is the upcoming 2021 Power Rangers season. And actually, a quick update on that. It was just announced, I want to say a couple of days ago, that they're going to begin shooting in October. Now, normally, Power Rangers shoot around late September, I think. So it's a small delay. Nothing too big. I think they're still on track. And New Zealand is actually like one of the few spots that has like no cases. Well, until like a few days ago, they had like 4 cases.
Yeah, they did that.
Still small compared to like what's going on worldwide. So, I mean, it looks pretty good for Power Rangers. It looks like they're going to be shooting on time. And that also, kind of sounds like they already got their cast. Now, we normally get the cast, around this time, right? During Power Morphicon?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Only,
but
like,
since Power Morph got
August.
canceled, we don't get.
So I'm
Mhm.
thinking they already got their cast. But another thing is interesting. So New Zealand has their new policy where you can't leave. You know what I mean? Like they have like this bubble where like you like if you're going there to shoot or anything, you have to stay there until you're done shooting. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I'm thinking, do you think Power Rangers is going to go through all that, or you think we're going to have like a whole New Zealand cast?
I actually think, well, considering the Sentai they're adapting, I think it could actually work.
With the night theme, right, and the accents, I think it'll play.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be pretty cool. So
I'd be cool with that.
you guys are cool with like a whole New Zealand
Yeah.
cast?
Yeah.
Yeah. They've done it
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, the Disney seasons were all New Zealand casts, or in
Yeah,
Australia.
they even have the New Zealand actor do like American accent.
I mean, for Disney defense though, Disney actually hired actors for other seasons.
True.
Neil Saban, not so much. Now, a lot of you do complain about the New Zealand extras, right?
That is true.
Do you guys have hope that, and also, do you feel like the whole casting process was rushed? Like, do you think they probably just like, okay, let's throw something together real quick so we stay on track?
I don't doubt it probably is rushed.
Probably.
So because we could have had, because if you think about it, right? I remember
We could have had better actors.
auditions was put on hold for like months, and we're somehow shooting on time. Does that sound fishy?
Yeah.
We're
yeah.
supposed
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
a few months behind, but now all of a sudden we're ready to go for October, which tells me they just cast a bunch of New Zealand people.
There's this possibility.
Possibility. So you guys are cool with the whole New Zealand cast?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
A whole cast full of chasers. Cool with that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like Chase actually.
They should just
too.
recast him.
Yeah, I mean, do you think though, like, how would you feel if everyone had like a thick accent though?
I don't care.
Oh,
That's
mind
fine
you.
with me.
I mean, a good portion of like the Disney cast like had like fake act. Like, look at Ninja Storm. Like, a lot of them were like local to New Zealand or Australia, and they pulled off American accents pretty decently. I think
Yeah.
they can find good talent locally easier than they can
Once
find
again though,
mediocre
Disney
talent.
hired actors. Just throwing that out.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
There's a difference between what we're getting. We're getting supermodels, okay? We're getting Troys.
Mm.
Yeah.
Jadens.
Yeah,
Troy
and
wasn't that
Emma's-
bad.
Who said
Emma
That
that?
was
pretty bad.
Jaden.
Put you in timeout real quick. No, I think Troy is a great person. I've seen him at Power Morphicon, and he's like very charismatic and like a great personality, a great person to talk to. I just think what they did with him in Megaforce wasn't it. And even if he is a good actor, it wasn't shown in that season really.
I think that was from what I heard, apparently he wasn't supposed to be good at acting. Like they told them specifically like not to
To be like emotionless.
yeah, that's exactly what they told him.
I was legit
To act
expecting
more
him to
robot
have.
than the actual robot.
That's what I'm saying. Like I was expecting him to have the whole Mac twist when we find out he's really a robot at the end.
Oh, yeah.
But nope. I was hoping him and Robo Knight was like brothers or something. Yo, Robo Knight was more charismatic than Troy. Did we talk about that?
For
Robo
better or for
Knight-
worse,
Robo Knight's out here
definitely say
rapping
that.
and dancing. But I mean, I think Megaforce is probably one of the best casts we ever got, and we could have really seen their potential. What I'm
Yeah.
trying to see about, like, you can tell, like, if you go to Power for Con and get their interviews and everything, you can tell they're like a great cast. Like the casting job was done right. It's just somewhere between them being them and the first day of shooting. I don't know what happened, but something. I mean, Jake was good. I think I like
I thought
Jake.
Noah was good.
I
Oh,
100%
good.
agree with all that. Then, it makes sense. I agree with that.
It sucks too because Megaforce, like I said, Megaforce is not a terrible season. It have its flaws, but like Megaforce gets so much like over hate. And like if you really get to know the cast, it sucks because like a lot of them are like really big Power Ranger fans. And it's like, especially Jake, like if you like watch his interviews, he always talks about how like he grew up watching Power Rangers. He's a big fan. He always wanted to be one. He like geeked out when he like actually met like actual Power Ranger actors and everything. And like he's probably like logging on social media and seeing everyone saying, "Oh, what season ever this and that." That gotta suck.
Yeah.
No,
It wasn't
that's
his
tough on
fault,
your
though.
career.
Like,
Yeah, the
and yeah,
entire
he was actually a good
production
character
for
in my
both
opinion.
seasons.
He was like, he
agree.
didn't really do. He didn't really do a lot, but he was still like likable. He was still charismatic. He was still kind of charismatic, in my opinion.
He's like the only person that was like, "Okay, yeah, you be yourself. Everyone else don't. Don't be like Jake."
Everybody else be a wall.
Exactly. I like Noah in Super Mega Force, but
Yeah, because Noah actually like got character development. That's the thing. He didn't
Mega
really. It wasn't.
Force, Super Mega Force, yeah.
Yeah, like it wasn't like the most fitting considering like who he's adapted from, but he was still he still at least got something.
Is anyone else favorite episode GF Focus episode?
She had a focus episode.
No,
I was about to
that,
say that.
No, she,
that was a joke.
She should have gotten one, though.
Yeah,
It's crazy. 40 episodes and not one focus.
nope.
The closest one we got was, what was it? The one with Bizarra. That was it. The United We Stand. That's the closest one we got to G episode. Crazy.
Troy, how many did Troy have though?
He got a lot.
Too many, right?
yeah.
And so did Emma. Emma almost had every other one.
Am I not mistaken? But didn't the robot Tensu even have his own focus episode?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
yes, he
That's all.
did.
That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
He has a focus episode. Gia doesn't. Anyways, back to Dino Fury though. What I want to talk about real quick is how do you feel like if because Nickelodeon contract it ends in 2020, right? So
Mhm.
there's no 2021. I'm sorry. So there's no 2022 season for Power
Nickelodeon.
Rangers on Nickelodeon at least. Will you guys be okay with a 20 season, like a 20 episode season?
If they do it
Um,
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sure.
they can
Yeah.
do it right.
because sometimes having like a shorter like season, like having like a shorter season is beneficial at times.
Do you guys think Power Rangers need 40 episodes?
Not.
Depends.
I mean, if you watch a lot of shows nowadays, though, I think 40 episodes is like an old method for like older shows. Like if you watch a lot of newer shows, a lot of seasons are shortened down to like 15 episodes.
Yeah.
So I mean, even 20 episodes would be generous.
Yeah.
Like if like the season isn't going to be bad, then which they can't really tell when in production, but
I guess that way you can like take away all the filler
But I feel like-
episodes.
like if we're having like a season like if we got like a season like that we all really like we got like a season that was like Time Force quality, that was just like there's like a lot to it that we could enjoy, then yeah, I think it being longer, like 40 episodes wouldn't be the worst. But if it's like a bad season, then yeah, that's definitely a problem. The length.
I mean, if you rewatch any Power Rangers seasons, right? And let's
Mhm.
say you take out all the meaningless filler episodes, the dumb life lesson episodes we don't need, right? Take away all the dumb episodes we find boring and just put together all the story episodes, right?
Right.
We're gonna have like a 15 episode season.
Yeah.
So you think if we take away the meaningless episodes and just get straight to the point, have a story from beginning to end on all 20 episodes, then that'll be a good season. You think that should
Yeah.
be the way we go?
It
moving
could,
forward?
yeah.
I think
Easily.
they should
Yes and
also
no.
like they shouldn't do a comedic duo because if it's only going to be 20 episodes, we don't want to focus on anything but the Rangers.
For sure.
Yeah.
I got bad
Like-
news for you. No, go ahead though. No, but honestly though, 20 episodes. Let's say we have 20 episodes. Let's say we start February, and then let's say we end right about. Hey, actually, if we do 20 episodes, you think we should have a hiatus?
No.
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 Hiatus
guys-
would
No.
only bring
No.
Would you guys care though if the season only lasted like 3 to 4 months?
No, not at all.
No.
If it's good, then
If it's good, then
doesn't
probably.
matter at that point.
Well,
Not
if they
having-
skipped the hiatus too, they could totally do more episodes.
True. The only reason we have, the hiatus is not the reason why we don't have 40 episodes. The reason we don't have 40 is because Nickelodeon only contracts 20 episodes per season, which is why we have a super season for us to have 40. So whether we have a hiatus or not, Nick is only going to give out 20 episodes. So if the season ends in 2021, then we only have to have 20 episodes, which means they have a choice they can make. They can either do a short season, 20 and done, or they can risk it, film these 20 episodes, drop a cliffhanger, and hope another channel picks them up for a super season.
Would not take that risk. Just
Yeah, I
if
wouldn't either. I just like if we're talking about Dino Fury strictly, I would just make it a short season because Resource doesn't have much sword to begin with. So
I mean, that is true.
if
Plus,
you're
we've seen shorter seasons done before. I mean, what was it like? Didn't Overdrive have 32? That's when we started getting the 30, like the less and less era. So I mean, we've seen it happen before. So I can tell
Does
if they're
Overdrive have
good.
32?
I think so, or it was RPM might have had it too. But
I think RPM was like the shortest season.
if they're good storytellers, they can do it in 20 episodes. That's all depends.
I was going to say, but if we get 20 episodes, that's the shortest season we'll have. That's like 12 episodes short in RPM.
then meet like in the middle. Do like the DC CW shows. Do like 25 episodes.
Well,
And-
we only can have 20. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like that's 22 because of the two,
Just
the Christmas and Halloween. But we can
Then just
honestly
nix
make those real episodes.
Yeah, just get rid of the holiday episodes. They serve no purpose other than
None.
me not watching them.
But now, being restricted to only 20 episodes, you got to remember, this may or may not be the final season, right?
Then go
Right.
out with a bang.
Would
That's
you-
fine.
Would you guys want any of those 20 episodes wasted on like a bunch of cameos from past Rangers or like
Not
If
really.
it's
No,
done,
they stay
Yeah, I
away
had
from
my
past
fill.
Rangers.
Mainly just because I don't want this to be like the last season Power Rangers.
I'm okay with cameos if they're done well and in
Oh.
service of the plot. If
Oh,
they're-
I agree with that.
I just thought of something.
Yes.
I just remembered something. So, for those who don't know, the Masters and Ryu Soldier were all played by previous Tokusatsu actors. Like Master Red was played by Kamen Rider the First. Master Pink was played by like the live-action Sailor Moon, and Master Black was played by Time Red. So I thought maybe they could, for something like that, if they adapt
make them
that
new
into
characters though?
like that. Like they could cast like previous Rangers and turn them into them and have them play some Masters counterparts in Dino Fury. Also, going back to the whole Mike thing from when we were talking about Samurai and Mike, how he wants to come back as a villain. Master Green, I believe, was like the first ever Geisorg, who's the villain, who's one of the villains in Ryu Soldier. So I thought maybe my idea was that we could have Mike's actor come back as Master Green, and then they could do like a Wolf Warrior Korak thing with him, and have him play as Guy Soul / Master Green's counterpart. What do you guys think of that?
I mean, I'm down for it. Only
Yeah.
if they come back as completely new characters. I don't
That's what I'm
want
saying.
Yeah.
old Rangers coming back as old Rangers because it'll kind of ruin the continuity. Then you'll
Yeah,
be
let's
like,
say-
wait, when did they become Ryu Soldier Rangers? You know what I mean? Like when they had time to do that.
Yeah.
You know? But I mean, I'm for it.
I'm talking about them. I'm just talking about like previous actors becoming
Right.
like new
Yeah.
characters. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all for that. Just what about actual like past Rangers coming back? Like kind of what Beast Morphers did, where we had one episode focus on Dr. K, another episode focus on the Dino Chargers, and we had another episode where General Truman came back. We have another episode where like what was it? What's the silver dude? Silver robot.
Steel.
Captain Taku.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah, who is Power Rangers is RoboCop. Like legitimately, he is.
Yeah, like would you want a bunch of like, or we can do the whole Megaforce style. Casey came back one episode. Jaden came back one
disappeared after
episode.
that.
and that was it. And
I
then
prefer the
they all-
Megaforce style.
Like, would y'all want that like different? Since it could be the last season, would y'all want like them to make this an anniversary season where like a bunch of people come back?
Well, this isn't supposed to be an anniversary season, though. It wouldn't make sense to be.
True.
It's like this is like the because Power Rangers is like about 28 right now, so that would be kind of a weird number to like celebrate.
Well, I mean, they won't celebrate the anniversary. It'll be more of a like one last raw. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
one
that's
one final season.
Yeah, that's only if. Well, here's the thing. That was just like a rumor, though. Like we don't. Like I doubt that like this will actually be like the last season of Power Rangers.
Hey, from a
Because like
credible
because
source.
think about it. No, actually, I want to think. I want you guys to think about something. What was the last Well, during In Space was supposed to be like the last season of Power Rangers, right? And that was supposed to be the last Power Rangers and that was the last Power Rangers of the Zordon era. RPM was also supposed to be the last season of Power Rangers, and that was the last one Disney utilized. So, and think about this. Dino Fury is considered to be the last Power Rangers season. This is going to be the last one Nickelodeon utilizes if they don't buy it again. Doesn't that sound kind of familiar?
There's
Yeah.
a difference though. When In Space was supposed to be the last season, that's when technically before Power Rangers was what it is now. In Space was technically more of a like a Mighty Morphin season 6 type of thing. You know what I mean? Where like the
Yeah.
show was just going on, they didn't know what to do with it, and the sales wasn't as good. Like when Mighty Morphin first hit, it was crazy. Like
That was
toys
like
were
lightning
flying
in a
off of
bottle.
shelves. It was like it was the most popular show at the time when it first came out. Like everyone was talking about it. When In Space came out, it was a dying show. So, and it was still fresh. So, like, you know what? Maybe we should pull the plug. But then they didn't. Lost Galaxy came. But then this and that. They figured out what they wanted to do with the show.
I think that's
Now-
because In Space was so popular. It might
Yeah,
have
like
been.
it was a dying show, and then the views went up again, and that's when I was like, okay, let's do something with this. Let's stick to the new cast every season format because it seemed to be working. So then come around to RPM. Now, well, we can go to Wild Force if you want, where Saban actually
Mhm.
sold it to Disney. And then,
Well, I don't think Wild Force was considered the last Power Rangers season, was it?
At the time,
Actually,
yeah.
it was,
Yeah.
but Disney
That's
would
why
not
they
give
did
it another
Forever Red.
season.
I didn't hear about that. So.
And even the end of it, the finales, it's in the title, "End of the Power Rangers." You know?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't supposed to be the last season of Power Rangers at the time.
Yeah, it was.
well,
No, because
But
no,
it
no, no,
was,
no,
because
no. Let me
the only reason
explain.
they
'Cause
kept it
they were
going
going to do Power
because
Rangers
someone.
Hexagon next. I'm pretty sure before Disney bought it.
no, what
Don't you have
happened
to-
was
Mm-mm.
it wasn't supposed to be the last season, but they were at a point where that was like they didn't know what to do with. This was like before like Disney bought it during Time Force, like while Time Force was still airing. So when Disney bought the season, it was more of a like, okay, what are we gonna do with the season? What are we gonna do next? But just in case, like, if Power Rangers was to die with Disney, Saban wanted to do like one big, team up, so they did Forever Red, just in case like the season was going to fail, because they didn't have any control with it at that point. Like right now, like when Saban, even when he first started the Hasbro, like Saban had some parts to do with it. Like they still had a say in what's going on. But when he sold it to Disney, it was like completely sold off. Like Saban couldn't do anything about anything. So Wild Force wasn't really supposed to be the final season, but it was the last season that they had control over, if that makes sense. So that's why they
I
kind
knew
of go
that.
like all
I knew
out.
that, but like, I
But
don't think it was.
nah, it wasn't supposed to be the last season. Like it wasn't supposed to end with Wild Force.
It was supposed to. I think at one point it was supposed to end with RPM. Like that was considered the last season.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was because
Yeah.
Disney itself just didn't want to do Power Rangers, so they canceled it.
Yeah,
with
because during that year they bought Marvel,
Isn't that
and we
funny?
don't know what
That's the
happened
funny
after
thing.
that.
Even when Disney bought it from Saban, they didn't want Power Rangers. They just wanted they just
They
wanted the
didn't want
channel,
us,
I think,
Fox
right? Didn't they
Kids.
just want Fox Family and then turn it into ABC Family? It was just a part of the package with Fox Family. So
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, one of the reasons
But
they kept
they,
it going because one of the producers said that how about we take the show and film them in New Zealand? 'Cause apparently it's cheaper over there, and Disney decided, yeah, sure, why not? Because it saved money on them. Because as I think it's kind of well known, filming in LA is very expensive.
yeah, Wild Force.
Yeah, because Walford did film in LA, but that when Saban still had control over it. Then Ninja Store came and they filmed it in New Zealand.
But the reason I brought up the past seasons was because every season had its own reason why it was supposed to be canceled. Going from the beginning where they didn't know what they want to do with it, and they figured out what they want to do with it, but they sold it. And then the new company just didn't want anything to do with it at all, which is why they canceled it at first. Like Power Rangers was actually canceled when RPM got canceled. Like it wasn't like, oh, it was supposed to
Yeah,
be.
the
No, it
entire series
actually
got
got canceled. Like we went a whole year and a half without anything. You know what I mean? So
and we don't try to remember 2010 because oh boy.
yeah,
Oh,
we had
God.
MMPR reruns
with
with cool
garbage
effects.
edits. Garbage effects.
No, but this is different because in the article is Illuminati. I'm gonna name drop them. Illuminati is a group of people who've been leaking some things behind the scenes, and they have been right about most of it. I gotta give them the credit. They were the group who said Jason was coming back for Beast Wars before anyone knew. I don't know if you guys remember when they dropped that story. We all was like, Jason
I
coming
remember
back?
that.
No, Jason would never come back. Like we doubted them. We actually thought it was impossible for him to come back because he just never came back since Forever Red. So when he actually came back, everyone was like, okay, these people might be on to something. And then what else they dropped? They said Riot Soldier is going to be the next season, right? And then everyone was like, no, Riot Soldier would never get adapted. What happened? We got Dino Fury. But the thing is with these people is they don't just drop anything and just hope it's right. If you notice, like the stories they drop is very specific. Like they're very odd stories that would never come true, but comes true. Like Jason, no one would have guessed Jason would come back. That's not a wild guess. You know what I mean? Same with Riot Soldier. That's not a wild guess. Like anyone would have just said, "Oh, the next season is going to be Tokuverse," or what everyone wanted. Kyrie Ranger.
Key Ranger.
Q Ranger. Everyone wanted the one with the cubes.
Zooger.
Zooger. Like, there's so many more seasons they could have went with, but they specifically said Riot Soldier, the one that was currently airing at the time, and people said they would never adapt the season as airing at the same time. And then look what happened. Boom. So I mean, they have their sources. They also say who's coming back for Dimensions in Danger. It says some other things I can't remember, but so with that track record, right? Them just coming out, and they've been saying for a while too, like, yo, it's been saying it for months, like, yo, we have this big story we want to drop, but we don't want to drop it until we get our facts like 100% right. Like, they've been saying, like, we really want to drop this story, but we're gonna wait until we know what we're talking about before we drop it. Months later, Power Rangers, and they never said Power Rangers were canceled. I should never use that term because we're not saying they're canceled. The difference between what happened to RPM got canceled. Like, Disney put the plug in everything, toys, movies, all that, like shows, everything's gone about it. Well, Hasbro is not canceling the series. That was never an article. What they said was they're partnering ways with Toei. That's real. That's the real article. That they're not going to adapt footage from Sentai anymore. So with that being said, they're not canceling the season, but they're not using Sentai footage, which can be their own, their own suits, or they can go straight to animation or just focus on movies. But Hasbro spent a lot of money on Power Rangers. They're not going to just cancel it a year after they bought it. They definitely have plans for it. It just might not be live action television series. So, how you guys feel about that? We can get into that.
Well, I'm probably in the minority here, but if it goes animated, I'm not going to watch it. Because to me, I'm kind of traditional, I'm old school. The one thing I love about Power Rangers is that it's live action. And I think what's holding it back the most nowadays is, like as we talked about earlier, it's hiring models. Like, there's nothing wrong with hiring beautiful people. It's just the difference back then between, like, sorry to use, I'll just say Mighty Morphin, but in those days they hired good-looking people, but they were established martial artists, gymnasts. They were able to back up what they were doing. It just wasn't a pretty face. They actually had martial arts. Yeah, but they had skills and talent to back it up and stuff like that, which nowadays they don't do anymore. So, but again, I'm in the minority here on that, I think, but that's just me.
I'm actually gonna agree with you because not for the same reason, but I disagree mainly because I feel like this. I think this is probably just gonna be a me thing. I feel like just them trying to do their own original thing could also be a really bad idea because they still have like loads of other interesting seasons that they could utilize, and it just feel like it's such a waste. Like they have trains. Well, I'm not gonna say animals because they've done that before. Space, which they haven't done. Well, yeah, we had in space, but like this is like next level shit. There's Lupat, where it's like two rivaling ranger. We could have two rivaling ranger teams. Probably get the closest thing we could have to Hexagon being a real season. Just ending it off on Ryu's Soldier and where like a lot of the rumors are going with it. It just seems like such a really bad idea, and we don't even know what Hasbro could do with their original ideas.
Dinosaurs.
For all we know, they could be like terrible. So, and they could just kill off Power Rangers for all we know. So that's just such. I would not I'm not gonna say it'll be bad or anything. It's just I personally wouldn't watch it myself, and I wouldn't feel confident in this series at all.
All right, let me ask you this real quick though. So let's say they canceled the live action shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we have a big budget movie, as big as Transformers, making a lot of money. We have a whole trilogy coming. We got main actors, like known actors playing these roles. They're making great blockbuster movies. We have an amazing animated series on Netflix doing pretty good. Boom Studios still going strong with their comics. Are you satisfied with that?
It really depends.
They would have to stick the landing, right?
Yeah,
it would have to be good.
It has to be good. And we don't even know what Sentai has in store for us after Kira Majors. For all we know, that could go off better than whatever Hasbro could be doing. So, I won't mind if they could do original things like based off of the other Sentais. Like in my opinion, the Solar Rangers are kind of look very similar to the Q Rangers. So if they did something like that, where it's like they don't necessarily like, adapt them, but do something similar to them, I'd be fine with that. Like I'd love for like something like Lupat but more original. I'd be completely okay with that. And so like if they did something like that, I'd be completely okay with it. But like if not, then yeah.
So you guys are like, it got to be live action. That's the main one,
Mm-hmm.
or it's
Yeah.
not Power Rangers.
It loses its charm otherwise.
Yeah.
I mean, the live
And that's the
action,
thing.
no one's watching it. Like they're not pulling views. Like I think Beast
People
the
still watch
lowest.
live action.
I think it would survive better on Netflix as a whole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree
Yeah.
They
with
think
that.
Nickelodeon is the issue.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
They've been the issues in Samurai.
It's the show hasn't been on Nickelodeon with new episodes since April, so their scheduling is the issue. It's so sporadic.
Yeah, I mean,
Alright.
whenever a bunch of Beast Morphers episodes were literally, well, they weren't leaked. They literally aired in the UK before the US.
Yep, I still haven't watched them yet, just because I want to watch them here, but have to wait till September.
So, are you wanting it to be on Netflix? Too bad promotion, or because it can be like a series season?
I don't even know what you just said because like your mic just like cut off for me like every time you're
Oh.
speaking. So
I was saying, do y'all want it to be on Netflix because of bad promotion on Nick, or do you want it to be like a more serious?
I just want it to be on Netflix because I think it'll be handled better.
Because Netflix is a very, very popular streaming service. We know this.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
one thing I will say Netflix is bad at is promoting their kids shows. I think Netflix is doing amazing when it comes to original content and like all their movies and shows is amazing. But can you guys seriously like sit here and name a bunch of good kids shows they're promoting?
Here's the thing though, the kids, I think from last time I checked, all the kid shows on Netflix weren't really all that popular. I think the idea is like if they are like adapting like Power Rangers, if they're like adapting Sentais that are going to be exclusively on Netflix, I think they'll take, and considering how big of a name Power Rangers is, I think they'll take that more seriously than like some BS garbage kids show that they just found.
How big do you think Power Rangers is outside the fandom?
Well, a lot of people still
Actually,
know.
hold on. Let me ask this actually. Do you think Power Rangers is big or Mighty Morphin is big?
Mighty Morphin.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you think if Netflix is going to promote it based off of being big, don't you think Netflix would probably adapt another type of Mighty Morphin series?
They could. Well, here's the thing. I think Mighty Morphin is just like that's just like the way of. I think that's just like that'd just be like a way to like promote it. I don't think they're actually gonna. I think they're just gonna use Mighty Morphin because that's how it's always been. Because Power Rangers just utilize Mighty Morphin as a way to like promote things just for like the nostalgia and like nostalgia heads and casual fans. So I think they're not gonna. I think when they're gonna adapt, like produce their own original shows, or their own original Ranger seasons, I think they're not gonna have Mighty Morphin in mind, no matter how much more popular Mighty Morphin is than all the other seasons.
Does anyone else want to speak their piece on that before
on the animated series?
On like how you think Netflix would handle a Power Rangers series if they had it?
I say
do you guys feel confident that like Netflix would be a better spot and it would like promote it better and be
they show more bias. They show more bias toward big name properties like the How to Train Your Dragon series. I don't know how many of you guys watched that. Once they announced they got like a like a freaking spin-off show on their platform, they promoted it very well, and they still are promoting that to this day. Like it's still
It was
on
a
one of their
good
front
show.
pages. Yeah.
And Power Rangers, I'm pretty sure, is more popular than, and should obviously be more popular than How to Train Your Dragon. So
Probably.
So I think
I'm
they
gonna
can
have to
handle
disagree.
animated really well, because even for Hasbro, because Transformers does really well on Netflix.
Yeah, Hasbro have a good history of animated shows for their properties. Like of the two Transformers shows, at the top of my head, Transformers Animated and Transformers Prime, those are like top tier shows. They're still
They
talked about
were.
today. Yeah.
So y'all want the Netflix show to be animated?
I do not.
I would
Neither
want.
do I.
All right. So
I
question,
could do both.
because
I
we
could do
know
both. I think they can both coexist. I don't want.
yeah, I'm okay with them both coexisting. I just don't think one should replace the other.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know an
That's fair.
animated
I agree with
series
that.
do good though. Like that's a no-brainer. Any animated like big name property is gonna do good. I mean, obviously, if it's Mighty Morphin, it would be amazing. But
Yeah.
have you guys heard of a show reboot, The Guardian Code?
Yes.
I heard of the original show when it was on
Mm-mm.
TV.
But you know the Netflix version, right?
I did not know that actually.
I've seen it, but not seen it.
That's their live action Power Rangers right there.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say it's the greatest show. It's fucking high as hell. It's really shitty. And it's definitely Power Rangers for sure. The only difference is they morph into a video game instead of morphing. That's the best way to break it down. They're high school, get power, and more powerful superheroes.
I also
Netflix don't promote that at all.
I wonder if Netflix would take it, because they just made a deal with Nickelodeon, and I wonder if taking Power Rangers would be like a stab.
Yeah, that's true, because Power Rangers isn't even a Nickelodeon. So, I mean, but Netflix has a deal with Hasbro as well. So
True.
Yeah.
they have the whole Transformers thing going on, where they produce original Transformers. There's that, but definitely anime. Well, live action on the other is iffy, because the thing with Power Ranger fans, like a lot of them have like this tunnel vision of it being like the greatest show in the world, right? And how does like Power Rangers is so great they can't do. And truth is, like, it's I hate using words like, but like it's true. Power Rangers is definitely a dying brand, and I think it was huge when it first came out, and a lot of the fans stuck with it. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot of like fans out there. There's not nothing that's going on right now that's going to bring people. Comics is great. The toys are good to a certain extent, but there's nothing out right now that's going to like draw new people in. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
Like, no one's
Yeah.
watching it now.
That's true.
Going to be
All
like,
of it.
okay, I want to start watching this. So I think it is smart for what Hasbro is doing. Like, if it's true, if they're partnering, like, and in a ways with Toei for, it's fine. I think what Toei have to do is, I think they have to like buy something from them, like every year or something. Maybe them splitting the deal is not forever. It's just for now to get a break. You know what I mean? They probably don't want to keep paying them. So I think what they want to do for now is just, all right, we're going to split our ways. We're going to take a break, reconstruct the series into something that can gain new fans. Because, listen, us people who's been watching it, we're not going to save the franchise, to be honest. It's just going to get the same views every time. It's going to have the same people. And it needs new people to survive. That's what makes Star Wars so great. There's always new people. That's what makes Marvel so great. There's always new. So, I think the smartest thing to do is the focus on the movie. They're gonna lose money off the show if they put all this money into it, and just the same people watching it. You're not really doing anything good for yourself. It's gonna be wasted. Then they'll have no choice but to cancel. So it's smart that they're doing it now that they have the property. Like, they just bought it. It's good they're doing this now before it's too late. You know what I mean? Like, all right, we're gonna take our break early on, get a big budget movie, and the movie's definitely gonna bring new fans in. Same with Transformers. I don't know if you guys remember, but you can all say Transformers biggest franchises ever, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. You remember before the movie came out, Transformers dying franchises, and so
I
was G.I. Joe. Both of those franchises, they had toys and old shows. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
ever since that G.I. Joe movie came out, brand got bigger. Ever since the Transformers movie came out, brand got huge. So I mean,
yeah,
it
I can
brought in
actually
a lot of
understand
new
that.
fans. So I think for Power Rangers, if they went that same route, take a break from the show. You want to do an anime side or a mini, fine.
Oh yeah,
But
taking a break. Actually, I actually agree with that a lot. Taking like if they not don't necessarily cancel it, like do something like RPM and just like take a break for a minute and
oh
then
yeah, the
maybe
series is definitely
Yeah.
not canceled either. But they're just splitting ways with Toei. Like,
yeah.
take a
I
break
think
from the series, drop a big
just
budget movie, bring new
yeah,
fans, and
yeah, like
then
take a break. Just not like just don't just quit the show. Just don't focus on that. Try and do something big and something original with the series, and then when that when that gets big, go back to Toei and then try and adapt and try and continue adapting. Then and get other people and have all
and
the new fans hooked onto it.
honestly,
So
Mhm.
it'd be
that
smart though if they never even went back to Toei. Like, hear me
yeah,
out. You
what
you make your original team, right? A big budget
yeah.
movie, everyone, right? It's just we breaks box office, making mad money, billion, whatever. Everyone team. Now you can also make other properties based off your movie. Now let's say make an animated series, your movie. You can make a TV show, maybe a spinoff of your movie. You know what I mean? Like, everything built
We
that movie. Then
I think we just had that. I think we just that'd be kind of an issue though, because here's the thing. Think about it. What's in terms of like promoting this franchise right now, and probably one of the reasons why Power Rangers is kind of a dying brand right now. What is one in terms of like comics and like toys and outside of the TV show? What is usually like the main target for that Hasbro uses to promote Power Rangers? Mighty Morphin.
kids, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, they utilize Mighty Morphin all the time for promotion, and it gets so freaking annoying. So I think just kind of them just kind of like sucking off all like the popularity from the movie, just kind of like doing like its own animated series of the movie, or doing like a spin-off or
You know
comics
what I'm saying?
from
That's
based
what
off of the
makes
movie. That like it'd be cool at first, but I feel like if they keep doing it over and over, that's just gonna get so annoying. And I
that's
think
what makes
partnering
the movie so great though. Like, here's the thing.
like
This
I'm not saying they can't do something like that, but I'm just saying if they just like stick to that though, I think that's just they're just gonna go back to where they are now.
like how Mighty Morphin is.
Yeah,
I mean, in its defense, Power Rangers was the biggest show in the world when they used that method. When
yeah, but it's
everything
like
Yeah.
was Mighty Morphin, the show was.
yeah,
But
but where
it
what
was
does that mean for what does that mean for the franchise now though? You just said it was a dying brand earlier.
it was a dying brand. But here's how you can fix it. They already confirmed two things for the movie, right? One of them being a new original team, right?
Right.
And another thing is they're going to switch suits, going to switch uniform. They're not going to stick with the whole time.
Yeah,
Now,
but
which
they're
makes me
it's
think is that you can have one team, but what makes Mighty Morphin, right? What makes Mighty Morphin such like a drag is it's the same thing every. We're getting the same figures, same Tommies. It's like that's the if we had, now let's say they did that with one season, right? But this particular season was the most versatile season. Like, let's say they did it with a season that never had the same uniform, that never had the same Zord. They also said there's going to be different Zords, different suits. Like, it's going to be a changing theme throughout this, which means if you build on that, you can do so much more with the show. You can do so much more with it. The live action series, if you plan on, like, there's so much you can do. I think they realized the issue with Mighty Morphin, and I think this movie is going to be like a new day for them. More like how DC is doing. You know how DC had the whole Snyderverse and how it was looked at in a bad way. So I think what DC wants to do is come out with this Flashpoint film and kind of erase the Snyderverse and like start a whole DC verse that they have going on, where they might go the MCU route with their movies. I think Hasbro is going to basically do that. They're going to I think they're going to kind of like reset the timeline with this new movie, and then it's going to become Hasbro Power Rangers. You know what I mean? Like, other seasons might get referenced. Like, mainly, the main focus is not going to be Mighty Morphin, Hasbro, and it's going to be, from now on, it's going to be their own thing. Maybe it might, and think about it. The good thing with movies, their movies don't. It could be for kids, but at the same time, it'll be more serious. Like Transformers, when it first came out, it was definitely for kids. But the way the movie did was, it was for kids, serious. It was still like them Transformers, they were dying. You know what I mean? Transformers, they were cursing. They were actual explosion and not like edit purple fire that Beast Morphers did because fire is too violent. So I think a movie, definitely you have more leeway in what you can do. And I'm not saying do the Mighty Morphin thing, only Mighty Morphin forever. I'm not saying do that with the new movie. But what I'm saying is, once you bring in new fans, which is the problem with Power Rangers, it never had new fans. Once you bring in new fans, then you can capitalize and start off making shows about this movie, animated shows. I want to do live action right now. I will keep their live action film for now and focus on comics, toys, and cartoons or whatever. But I think what they should do is capitalize on this new movie and then introduce new teams. Maybe like do a trilogy with this team right here. Maybe franchise or spend different. But I mean, I feel like if they go that route, we should be good. Now, if no one watches it again, then about it. What you guys thoughts on that?
I can see where you're coming from, but I just think that maybe I think in my opinion the best idea was like obviously just take a break from Hasbro or something, and I just think they should go completely original after. Like, they should make this big movie and then but use that as like a way to like, hey, this is gonna be this, like, try and make a movie that could like get casual fans hooked on Power Rangers, and then when they maybe like make it like a Netflix exclusive, or maybe just like make it. I'm trying to think. Hold on. Essentially just put out this big movie in theaters or something like that. Just make sure, try and get it as popular as possible, and then maybe give it to like have it go on Netflix, and then we could, and not maybe just like promote stuff with that movie, and then at the end when the move promote, then oh my god, then you can go back to Toei, or maybe you don't have to go back to Toei, but you can. Well, no, I think they should, and then probably like adapt stuff like Q-Ranger or Loop Hat or stuff that they can, or have like the people who worked on the movie come back and adapt shows like Q-Ranger or Loop Hat, and try and do something original with these shows that have so much potential with them, and then have them try and or not necessarily like try and it's essentially just like copy the movie or something like that, or essentially just like try and have like rub the success of the movie onto these adapted shows, but rather than just try and get it to like the same quality or even better. Because like yes, there's a good chance it could fail, but like it's still something. It's still I just want it to be something like original, like not necessarily related with the movie. Because I think the problem with Mighty
Right,
Morphin,
right.
yeah, because like I said, I think the problem with like Mighty Morphin is that like it wasn't. It's like that was like 3 seasons, and because they what you were describing kind of reminded me of that because they kind of did the same thing. This team of people, this team of Power Rangers, it was really popular, and then they did get new cast members each time. They replaced Jason, Trini, and Zach with Rocky, Aisha, and Adam, and then they got Kat. Then they became the Zeo Rangers, and that with Tanya, who replaced Aisha. They did all this, they did all that, but I think the problem was that they were still kind of rubbing off the. Essentially, we essentially just get the Zord on there. But I think the problem was that was like their probably the most popular Power Rangers it's ever been. So I think, what they did was essentially kind of what you described of kind of using the success of like this great thing and like still doing something original, but it still relates to that. And here we are now with Beast Morphers and Dino Fury, and people not really caring about that and only wanting essentially just Hasbro using Mighty Morphin to promote their franchise essentially. And I'm worried that if they do that with the movie, the thing. Yeah, well, yes, they could still do original stuff with it if it relates to the movies too much. I think we'll still go back to where we are now.
I mean, if it's a term that goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I'm not saying that.
It
I'm not
works
saying
with
that
Transformers. Why wouldn't they try it at least? Yeah,
I
think about it.
guess
Power
because
Rangers is already a dying brand, right? So they have nothing at this.
what I'm saying is they already did try it though, and this is where we are
They
now.
didn't try it this way. What you mean tried it? Like they tried
Like
Mighty Morphin?
because they did Mighty Morphin, that was really big, and then they tried. Essentially, they did get new cast members and new suits, but they still kind of related it to Mighty Morphin, and now when they try doing something original, and obviously you can't relate something like this one thing too much, otherwise it's going to get boring. And when they, so what I think they should do is they should try and do this. They should try and do the big movie, and once that gets super popular, they adapt shows on Netflix, and then have the people who worked on the movie adapt them, and so like they can still have like the same amount of quality as the movie, or at least be as close as quality to the movie, but still be original enough, but still be like their own original things, so they won't like it won't feel too similar and won't get boring. Because yes, even if they're probably going to be bad, they'll still be unique and different from the movies, so it won't feel like it's just the same thing over and over and over. If I wanted to watch the movie, I'd watch the movie and not some shows trying to rub off the success of it.
Real quick though, I want to point out something you said earlier about them doing the same thing, kind of, but they did something a little different by changing the suits, but it technically didn't do anything different. They were still adapting the Japanese counterpart and making new seasons. But what I want to say is what they could do differently. Like same with Transformers and G.I. Joe. Like they did all types of different shit with the brand, but it was still same. Like it was different animated series and more role, but it's still the same format. They tried something new by putting money, a big budget movie.
That's what I was trying to say. Like they can still like
so I'm saying,
have it in
like,
the same. they could still have it in the same format as that's what I'm trying to argue, actually. So yeah, I'm agreeing with you with that. Like try and
Yeah, like they put their money into the movie, take a break from the show. They're doing the same thing with the show. We don't need it right now. And I think
they don't need.
if this
Yeah,
movie is successful, they're not going back to the show. They have no reason to. Why would a fan watch a big budget movie, right? A serious, good Power Ranger movie that has good sequels, right? Why would they watch that back to the corny goofy TV show in spandex?
well, they don't need to. Well, no, I'm arguing that they don't need to do that though, just because
Exactly. I don't think they will. That's the point. That's why the movie, when I mean capitalize
yeah.
on the
If
movie,
you're talking about like the same. I thought you were talking about like how like whenever they like adapt, whenever like they go back to TV shows, they should they should just be like related, like they should be kind of like sequels to the movie or something like that.
no, I'm saying like they
You're saying
capitalize
that they should
on
be,
the success of the movie. Like for example,
like you're saying they should be in the same tone though. Like you're saying they should be like as serious as the
oh,
movie.
not even like for example, the TV show is different. We know that, right? They took the risk, made the movie different. But now every time you see Transformers, or anytime you see a new toy, new animated series, they're more of their movie counterpart how they was in the original show. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, I think so you're saying that they shouldn't really try and be like as goofy as like Mighty Morphin was. They should kind of
Power Rangers is cheesy. You can make it cheesy. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Once you be different, you can't go back. Like once you make this
Oh
big
yeah,
step in
that's
this
what.
movie,
Yeah, that's what I'm
you're
just
going
trying
to
to.
build your brand new fan base who's going to put money in your pockets. You
Yeah,
can't go
okay,
back to your old ways after that. So we're going to do this.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, we have to do an animated show like it. You can make it different, new suits, new cast.
Like, I think I'd still want to see like
you got to be the
I
same
think
format.
I think I'd still like to see other Sentais adapted. I think they should still do that, but like outside of that, I agree with you with everything.
To be honest, we should leave that to Sentai. I mean, Sentai is their thing; they're doing great with it. It just doesn't. Sometimes, like, we will have to go out our way, certain because it like fit well. You know what I mean? Like, we watch certain seasons. I'm trying to think of one that's like RPM and what's the counterpart called? Go on.
Time Ranger? Oh no, Go on, sure.
Yeah, Go on, sure. So that was something done amazing. We could have easily had a direct adaptation of it, but instead we got the season we love, the apocalyptic season. That was probably the bold hiring, and it took this again cancel for them to do that. I feel like if you're not going to do that every time, then don't adapt it. Don't downgrade.
I agree, and I think that's what this new era's new problem is. It's trying to recapture Mighty Morphin. Like it's been trying to do that since Samurai, like from literally hiring Paulie back. But like they've been trying to recreate that same lightning in a bottle that
Down
Mighty
to the
Morphin
theme
is.
song.
Yep, but even with Beast Morphers, it's Mighty Morphin, but like there's so many little things in it. It's just inverted Mighty Morphin, and they're still like. You know what's the old crazy person does the same thing over and over again and doesn't realize it. Like that's basically what this era was doing, and I think that's again part of Neo Saban's downfall. Is it just kept trying to do the Mighty Morphin thing, but it didn't get what made Mighty Morphin so popular and likable and everything, as opposed to
I gotta take a risk. That's what it's about.
And they're too afraid to do that.
You're a dying brand. You have nothing to lose. Just
Yeah,
your brand is already dying. You have to take a risk at this point.
I'm not trying to argue that. I'm just saying that, like everything you just mentioned, I'm not trying to argue that. But my thing is just, I still think they have like a gold mine of like potential to use for like other Sentais. I just think like it'd be kind of weird to just like stray away from that. And like I'm not saying they can't take breaks from it, but I think it'd be kind of a waste just like stray away from that
It would be weird and it will be uncomfortable, and it will hurt all of them. But unfortunately, that might be the best thing to do. As much as we don't, it's not about what we do at this point. We've had this show for 28 years, right? We got the same thing we were happy with. But as a brand, yeah, like at Hasbro, if they invest into this, right, we're not the like, yes, we're buy all the we're gonna yeah. But they can't just eat off. They need people. And they dipped their toes in the water with Beast Morphers and was like, yeah, no, we're not doing it no more. This is not this is not flying. So I think that's why immediately they announced the movie. They already let us know, like, they're like, okay, listen, Beast Morphers is not working. I'm gonna make this movie. And hopefully, once they make this movie, it's successful, big, and that might have to be the new feature. Now, it's not just be the where it can still have shows like how Ninja Turtles on how they have like an animated series at the same time. Like they can make animated series, but it just as much as we want a live action show, it just wouldn't be. No one's gonna watch the movie and then come back and watch the new shows.
I agree.
Like the
Yeah.
2017 Power Ranger movie, a lot of people see them. I think any of them after that movie decided to watch the show.
Absolutely
Nope.
not. No.
Probably not.
So for them to put the show, like take a break and then come back to their old ways, would be doing nothing but satisfying who's been already watching. I mean, they care about it, but at the same time, they don't do this, bro. They want to make money, and they want to go where the most money is. And if that's a new fan, so be it. They will in a heart. They will lose their old if it means getting way more fans. They will. So I mean, we just have to like if we really want that live action, just watch it. That's how I look at it. Like we can't like if the movie fails, right? Then maybe go back to that. As make the TV show series. I feel like what they're gonna do is just keep taking risks. They're gonna keep taking risks until it's proven the brand is dead. Like if this movie don't work, I don't think they're gonna give up. I think they're just gonna go back to TV, but make the TV show more serious or make the TV show more.
I think that's personally what I want. I think they should just try and.
But it's always going to start with the movie. The movie's where you're going to make your most money at.
Yeah.
The movie is all. So hopefully, because. But as of right now, I think the movie is not successful. I still don't think they're going back to like the old
the old formula.
They might just drop like a CW show. You know what I mean? Like they might drop a Power Rangers CW and do like the whole Flash first.
What I think,
feel
what I think will be done is what sells them the most toys. Because first and foremost, Hasbro is a toy company, and they just care about merchandising, and they buy brands that yield the most easily merchandisable products. So
that's back to the movie, though. The movie's going to bring
like
new people in.
A movie would hopefully bring in that audience because, like, their Marvel Legends and Transformers sell like crazy. I mean, Star Wars
good
probably
on toys, anyways. To be honest,
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna ever stop making. Toys are cheap to make, and they make the most money. Like if they cancel the brand as a whole, we're gonna still get toys regardless.
Yes, but it's like they're gonna push either what, like on the screen, whether it be a movie or a show. It's what will get the most merchandise from it. That's what they will be using. So whether that be a big screen movie or some sort of TV show, animated or live action, it's whatever gets them the most toy sales is what's going to be their agenda.
All right, so we all agree that time for a change and that they should do something different and cut ties with old ways.
I don't think they should cut ties with Toei.
I
but
don't.
but I do think they should try something new. I think they should try a new formula, essentially.
No, I didn't say cut ties with Toei. I said cut ties with ways.
Like how they usually do things, right?
Yeah, the format we're looking at now.
Yeah, they're like their usual.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with
agree.
that.
Yeah, I mean,
I just still think they should. I think they should still adapt other Sentai though. That's what
Yeah.
I want.
100% with
And do we
that.
think Dino Fury is going?
What?
Do we
Say
think
again?
Dino Fury is going to be a good season? We think it's going to be same as what we've been getting with Beast Mode.
I think this is going to sound controversial, but I think I kind of have a reason for this. Considering the argument we just had, I actually don't think it's going to be that great. Because if what we said is true, is that if they're going to try and cut ties from Power Rangers for a bit and try and just focus on like, their own original movie, I don't think they're actually going to really care about.
Just throw this movie out there and then focus on the movie.
Yeah, I think they're going to like put more care in like how they're going to do like their own original thing rather than how Dino Fury is going to be. Concerned that whether it's good or not, it doesn't really matter because they're going to take a break from Power Rangers regardless. So if what we said is true, then I doubt it will actually be all that great. Because I doubt
I agree with Tenkai on this because, especially too, considering we know Chip is still involved, and he, Becca and Alwyn, two of the main, like a lot of the writers who've been writing Ninja Steel and Time in Charge of Beast Morphin, like they've wrote some terrible episodes, and we know they're still around, so it's gonna be pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
honestly,
fair,
I'm just
not like
glad.
we can like immediately hire new writers because this whole Corvid thing happened. It really messed up pretty much everything.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm just happy we're getting Rider Soldiers. Like, if we were going to end on one season, I would have went with Rider Soldiers, bro.
I personally would have went with Lupak, man, because Kyuranger Lupat. Man, because I feel like there's like so.
Man. We get to end. We get to start with dinosaurs and then end with dinosaurs.
Yeah, but we just had dinosaurs like 2 seasons ago with like Dino Charge. So like I think that
poetic though. The first season ever was dinosaurs.
I think it'd be cooler if it was like they did something. They adapted 2 seasons with like so much potential with them already that they could easily make it into like this great finale. Rather
That
than
would
like
make them like this. That would mean they actually. Okay. Listen. Before we go to our final topic, hear a few things from a few of our people in the chat. What's up, Chelsea?
What's up?
How you feel about Dino Fury? You think it's going to be a good season? We have no hype for it.
Oh, that depends. I wonder if part of the reason the seasons are so campy is because they base a lot of it off of other campy Nickelodeon shows as well. Like they're trying to be like those, and it has a whole Nickelodeon-esque feel to it.
I agree with that.
So you're team Netflix, huh?
Definitely, Netflix could go a lot farther.
What about you, Decca? How you feel? Son of a bitch that killed Kenny. Mr. Awesome, are you excited for Dino Fury, or you feel like it's going to be like the same?
I'm an optimist, so yeah, I'm excited for Dino Fury.
Okay. Dan,
Oh,
you
yeah.
excited?
Good character.
Here's the.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Here's the thing. I love the suits. They're beautiful suits, but just again, the writers. I'm very mixed. I'm going to give it 3. I usually give seasons the first 3 episodes to impress me. So that's what I'm going to do here. And if it doesn't impress me, then I'm sorry. That's all right. I've done that
Power
for
Rangers
years.
is always good the first 3 episodes, and they fall off at like episode 6.
Well, either way, like it has to.
You got to give it to the hiatus, man. It gets bad after the hiatus every trip.
All right, that's fair. I can make it to 6.
They always
but
start off good, even if the still started off good.
That's true. That is true. So
I don't agree, but all right.
But
I'm gonna get you at a ninja. We're gonna have a Ninja Steel topic next episode. I'm gonna let everyone
Alright.
go at it.
that'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm going to rip that show apart.
You and me both. I hate Ninja Steel, but it's fun to it's a fun ripping, you know. Like,
One
you
quick
can-
rant, real quick though. Oh, Ninja Steel had something good for a second when Brody had a communicator that like gives him like strategy and like actually tells him how to defeat. You know what I mean? Like I thought they were gonna stick with that, and that would have been so smart to do. You know what I mean?
There are another one. Sorry, you first.
I was just gonna say they should have capitalized a lot more on Brody's, not so much his trauma, if you want to keep it a little more friendly, but like he was in space for 10 years. How did he adapt to Earth life so quickly?
Because the writers just don't care. I mean, think about it. After we saw him like get captured by like the aliens, and then like it's like 15 years later when he's a teenager, he's just like walking around like everything is fine, like nothing really bad has ever even happened to him. Like there was no trauma.
And there should have been.
Yeah, there should have been.
Oh, you ain't know? They said Galvanax was a teacher. No, I'm joking.
The thing with Ninja Steel is I love the cast. They're great people. It's just it's similar to Megaforce. Like you can tell they tried, but they were just given horrible material. It's like I
the
feel sorry
characters.
for. Yeah,
I
but it's
like
not their
half the
fault. It's
cast.
the horrible writers. I think most of them were cool. It's just again, it's a shame that they were in such a horrible season.
I could have did without a few Rangers. I'm not going to say their names, you know, in case we tend to blow up and I meet the people at Power more kind of like, no, I know what you said about. You didn't like my character.
Hey, to any of like the Ninja Steel actors watching, I just want to let you all know that Savage hates you all. So yeah. So if you ever meet him at like a convention or something, I just want to let you know that do not speak to him because he just
I love you,
disrespects.
Christine. If you're watching, Sarah
He's lying.
My favorite Pink Ranger. Wink, wink.
She's the best.
He's lying. He's lying.
She's so much better than Kimberly, like hands down. Like
That Brazilian beauty.
Her body,
He just wants
her acting skills.
He just wants to smash. Don't listen to him.
I want to smash a thumbs up on videos.
Yeah. He wants to respect her very hard.
He respects women.
Watch Ninja Steel for the plot. Sarah and Legend.
For science.
But guys, you got to remember, she could actually watch this. So,
once again, I love you. You are watching.
Good thing I haven't watched much of Ninja Steel, so she can't get offended by me.
She's offended you didn't watch it.
I didn't say anything mean, so.
I gave it the first couple of episodes, like,
they were good, the first couple.
They were,
I think.
Yeah.
The theme song was good.
I didn't even like the theme song.
I did.
I couldn't even understand it.
It was a pretty solid first episode, I think.
I like how it starts off.
Yeah,
before there's any singing, but then it's just like and just still, and I was like, no.
For the first morph was like a rehash from the Dino Charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like literally from scene for scene, it was like when they first zooms in the helmet and everything was.
I thought we were supposed to save Ninja Steel for like next time. Why are we talking about it now?
That's what we do. We give our thoughts.
It'll give me time to watch more of it.
But the moment you guys all was waiting for, we have our final topic. The epic
why Jason is better than Tommy.
Why Jason?
Well, that's incorrect.
So, real quick, what I want to start doing every episode, start doing a at the and today, these very plain people decided to go with Jason.
I voted for Kevin versus.
I just want to let everyone know I did not agree to this. I'm not bland.
I was outvoted, so yeah.
I'm glad we're getting out the way. Episode 1, at least.
Yeah,
it's a good starter topic. It's a good.
Yeah, it is actually a good
starter.
So real quick, what I want to do is say I if you're Team Jason.
I.
Tenkai, Mr. Awesome. And I if you're Team Tommy.
I.
All right, Dan and Peter. Chelsea, what team are you?
can't
Alright,
decide. Yeah.
Alright, just we're gonna put the cough in there. Just put
We'll
that.
let Chelsea be like the mediator in the middle. That like,
What about
Alright.
Blaze?
what about who?
Blaze is
Blaze.
dead.
Blaze
Oh, he's
died.
dead still.
If y'all
Blaze
forgot,
is dead.
they killed him.
Did you forget that? It was a pretty traumatic experience.
Sorry, I
I'm
didn't
surprised you
hear the
didn't
question.
remember.
He just came back. What's up? Are you? Hey,
Are you a
Blaze.
ghost?
Oh,
Are you team Jason or Tommy? Who do you think will win in a fight?
Team Tommy, definitely. He's got multiple Ranger
Okay,
forms.
so we're outnumbered. So it looks like Peter,
Tommy
Dan,
wins.
and Blaze are Tommy. And me, Tenkai, and
Me.
me. It's Team Jason. All right, so what we're gonna do is for the verses, we're gonna argue and decide when, and we'll let the comment section decide who was the better.
If we get any
opponent.
comments.
I
Way
have
to
faith
be
in
a
us.
downer.
Okay,
Mega.
listen, we're gonna suck ass like the first few podcasts because nobody knows
Obviously.
At least
the
he's being
gem.
honest.
No one knows the gem that we are yet, but don't worry. Throughout, we're gonna do okay, I guess.
It's gonna
We're more
blow
like
up.
we're more like a plastic. We're more like one of those fake plastic. We're more like a ring pop essentially, rather than like an actual gem.
Listen, we're Energems, okay? Let's have faith.
Yeah, it's gonna blow up. We're gonna be at the next Morphicon. We're gonna get our own panel. Just
That'd be amazing.
But
That
let's
would
get
actually
into
be
it. I am going to start off by letting you know that Jason is a better Red Ranger than Tommy. Jason
Obviously.
is a better fighter than Tommy. Jason has more attitude than Tommy. Jason actually capitalized on the Teenagers with Attitude brand, where Tommy really only had attitude when he was possessed. He got hella soft when he turned good, especially because of Kimberly. And Tommy's a great ranger.
Yeah.
He's actually a great Red Ranger himself, like Zeo.
I think, in my opinion. Oh no, go ahead.
Oh yeah, Tenkai, you're on my team. Can you cut me off? you would have the floor. We're on the same team, but Jason is just more like when it comes down to it, Tommy has a better heart than Jason. I think Tommy would hold back a lot when they fight, where Jason would just be more of a, all right, you want to do this? Okay, let's do it. Like even Jason, like he's nice, he's a nice guy, but at the same time, he's not scared to say what's on his mind, and he would let, like, for example, Zeo, like he made it known. He was like, listen, I am not trying to take over the team, right? I know you were the leader before I was here, but just know, like, I'm Jason, okay? You know what I mean? Like, even Tommy knew. He was like, because Tommy was shook when Jason came back. When Jason was hitting them punching bags, Tommy went right up to him, crept up, behind the corner, and was like, hey, Jason, so I know you were gone and the leader and everything, but, if you want me to step back, I could. Jason was like, nah, that's cool, man. That's cool. But if you want to, I'm going to let Tenkai talk for a second. But one more thing I want to throw out there, though, like, if we're going tick for tack, right? The first time Jason and Tommy fought was during a championship, right? The karate tournament they had.
yeah.
It was what, tied between the two?
Mm-hmm.
The second time they fought was 1-on-1 when Jason broke the curse, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Unless you count in part 3 where they were in the dark
Megazord.
dimension. Mm-hmm.
I mean, head on, because.
Oh yeah.
So Jason is 1-0 right now. All right,
Yeah.
Tenkai, you got the floor.
All right, so the only thing I can really give Tommy is that he has more forms than Jason, and keep in mind,
though.
Yeah, and
the
keep in mind
Master
though,
Morphone lets you like do one ranger at a time too. So
yeah. So and here's the thing. I think arguably the most powerful Power Rangers team are the Zeo Rangers, whom both Tommy and Jason were a part of, correct?
Yeah.
So-
Gold Ranger is more powerful than Red, but continue.
Yeah. And usually, and I have two things. There's two reasons for that why I think Jason has the upper hand than Tommy. One, usually Sixth Rangers tend to be more powerful than all the other Rangers, and two, Jason actually did beat Tommy, of course, when just in Mighty Morphin. From what I remember. So while yes, Tommy's gonna be obviously much more powerful since he's a Zeo Ranger. He could be a Zeo Ranger in this fight. Jason can too. And he's obviously gonna be much more powerful. So if we're going by both of them at their most powerful state, Jason still wins. Because not only can he obtain that same power, he's beaten Tommy before. So
And we can throw the Omega powers in if we wanted to. Just saying.
Then you're not gonna like my rebuttal to this statement.
But who else was on our team? Mr. Awesome?
Yeah, I mean,
All right, Mr. Awesome, speak your piece.
All right, okay. Instead of talking about like during their prime, like Mighty Morphin to Zero, I'm going to talk about what they did after they hang up their boots. Okay, for Tommy, I could give him this. He was still willing to help up other Rangers. It's way more obvious in Dino Thunder, where he tried to. I'm not trying to basically, I don't know what was his project. Basically, he was trying to help people using the same type of dinosaur power that helped him, with the Dino Gems. But for Jason, after taking a step back from being the Red Ranger, he was still willing to help. When he came back in Zeo to take the Gold Ranger powers, he didn't. And also that scene where, I'm sorry. Okay. All right. In Red Forever, obviously Tommy called all the Red Rangers after the Redman and the Machine Empire showed up. But he was disappointed when Jason didn't really show up until last minute. And
real quick, what did Tommy call Jason?
What did Tommy call Jason?
The greatest what of all time.
The original Red, the greatest Red Ranger.
Okay.
What?
Go ahead.
He was being humble.
Yeah, that's not what Cole said.
Yeah, but you gotta keep in mind, I like the characterization with Jason and Red Forever to Cole because with Jason already got like a surface level description of Cole, like a jungle boy who is a Red Ranger for not really that long. And obviously, when you're a Power Ranger in that universe, you better be the best at what you did. And eventually, during that entire special, he warmed up to Cole and was impressed especially when he took down Cerberterra. Then came in Grid Connection, where he showed up out of a portal after freaking Devin prayed to the morphing grid. Like he saw that Devin was very distressed because his team was in another dimension and he couldn't really do anything about it because can't really do anything. His
Jason
team was
is such a nice guy though. Like Devin went out his way to like interrupt like Jason from eating his lobster or whatever he's doing, watching NASCARs or something. And he still came back. Even though he was out of shape and just got done drinking his beer, he still showed up and squeezed his behind in that and decided to go out and give terrible dialogue. And happened to
No, but I like the characterization in Grid
Tommy?
Connection because he acted like kind of like a mentor figure towards Devin. Clearly saw Devin was quite distressed during that whole situation. And also he decided to call upon other Dino Ranger team, not just his team, but friggin' the Dino Thunder Rangers too.
And guess who didn't show up? Dino Thunder Black. You know why?
Because
He
because
seen
he's
that
useless.
call and was like, "These niggas want my help again." Nah, stay right on the couch.
Or
Jason,
or maybe just Jason didn't invite him because we all know he's useless. I'm just saying, but
Hey, oh, ooh.
oh, you got a master more. Huh? So
Okay.
King Turner Turbo.
Oh, yeah, he was also in the Turbo movie. But
yeah, which isn't a good track record for him. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
but
I mean, if we're being honest, though, the master, he's not much a huge difference when it comes to MMPR white, MMPR green. They're the same power set. Zeo is more power, yes, but then he downgrades again when it comes to Dino Thunder. So all I'm saying is a lot of his okay. You know, Zeo is his best bet when he wants to go against Jason. But Jason just counter it with Zeo go. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to let the Tommy Love get their spotlight. You guys try your best against us. Why
This is gonna
Tommy
be
is
fun.
better. So, Dan, you want to start it off?
Sure. Okay. Well, I'll give you a couple reasons. Here's the thing. Now, think about this, because again, you guys make great points. But here's the thing about Tommy. He won in Forever Red. He's the one who brought everybody in. He brought everybody back. And in Dino Thunder, he literally created his own team. So, I mean, Jason, what's Jason got? He's got nothing. Like, even Grid Connection, he just like they did. There's no, we don't
lobsters.
know. We know nothing about him, though. Here's the thing: like, we know more about what's it like. Tommy actually has a son to carry on. We know nothing about Jason. What's Jason been doing? Even Forever Red,
Eating
like
his lobster.
Fair enough.
and here's like again, Jason never created his own team. In fact, he left the team. And here's another thing too about Gold Ranger. It was Tommy's idea to even bring him back. So keep that in mind too, because like without Tommy asking him back, he wouldn't have came back. Like why else would like? There's no reason.
I actually have an argument against that, but
I want to ask you something real quick.
Hmm.
I real quick though, I want to say when Tommy left the Power Rangers, what did he do? Have a kid, settle, become a teacher or something?
He's
Now,
a doctor.
Yeah, he's
when,
Dr. O.
When Jason left the Power Rangers, what did he do? Become
We don't
another
know.
Power Ranger? A Solar Ranger? Okay.
Yeah.
Continue.
No, he became the Omega Red Ranger.
Yeah, Omega. That's what I meant. Omega, not
In
Solar.
the comics. In
Canon.
the show, it's canon in another dimension. We're going prime dimension.
I actually do have
It is for Gold. Like Jason was too weak to handle Trey's powers. He had to give him back to Trey. So I mean, come on.
And
Like
he
he
went a
doesn't
whole
even
season. Tommy was too weak to
They
handle
knew
the Green
going
Ranger
in that the
power. We can
power
make
was
the
going to be
same argument.
temporary.
Yeah, here's and
Tommy was too weak for the Green Ranger. Let's make the same argument.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Rita had to steal those powers. But like,
She had to light a candle, my dude. That was it.
Yeah, but the point is, she actually took effort to get her powers back. Where
She lit a candle.
She
lifted her
but
hand.
so what?
That's not too much.
But she also kidnapped it. Like again, like even still, she went to.
Truth is though, Tommy was only able to handle it because he had the evil in him. I think what the spell did was bring out the toughness in Tommy, and like the love and care he had was just gone, which made him powerful enough to handle it. Because even before she lit the candle, you can tell like he wasn't the same as the Green Ranger. Like he was, I don't know, like the Green Ranger didn't really fit him too much. Like that's when he became the White Ranger. The color white represents light, good. You know what I mean? Like a gooder version of.
I can agree with that. That's fair. Fair
if
statement.
Jason had a Green Ranger though.
I can also agree with that. Like again, like you make some very fair points there. So
Jason was that without a spell.
But
Well-
he couldn't handle an alien power. Where Tommy, he didn't really need. So he didn't need to have it as backup. He got his own special powers, and even the Master Morpher. Well, I both love and hate it. Like he actually used it wisely. Where in Grid Connection, that new power coin, what's the point? It was just there for show. Like, look, a new, but like it wasn't special. Like it made no sense. Like at least Tommy's, say what you want. At least him gain his old powers somewhat makes sense, as opposed to Jason. He borrowed Trey's powers, and he really only has just made Morphin Red. You know, like like the show never touched on the Omega powers, so you know. And even
To be fair though, Jason was like in the powers. Like it would have happened to anyone who took the staff. Not it would have happened to Tommy as well. Like it wasn't
don't know
because he
that.
was too weak
Billy.
to
It's
handle it.
speculation.
It was still, but the thing was though, it was still tied to Trey. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't
Well, yes.
necessarily completely gone. Like anyone with it would have had to eventually give it up because it was just draining. You know what I mean? Him down because it wasn't like kid.
I don't think it would have drained Billy though. I think Billy could have held it.
Why
Mm,
Billy?
Yeah, but
I
let's
don't
be
know about
honest,
that.
Jason
Why
coming
Billy?
back
I'm
after
curious
Third
on that
Ranger is
one.
more impressive than
Because
Billy.
Billy, like if he didn't get the sparks on him, I think he could have held out a little longer than Jason.
Why is that?
Because that's a good question.
Because Billy, last time I checked, Jason was stronger than Billy, and the reason I don't want to say he wasn't strong enough, but that's basically what they're going for. Like he's not, because if I'm not mistaken, Trey isn't human, right? Trey is like something.
Correct.
Triphoria.
Yep.
That's why he's able to. It's not. That's why he's able to control it. Where humans, I don't think, is on that level yet. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. But I would
Billy-
argue, since Billy traveled to Aquitar, he might, since he's been to other planets, he could probably handle the
man, Aquitar is a bunch of fishes. I ain't trying to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like the atmosphere, or whatever, probably affected his body differently than it would Jason. Like he'd be more used to like foreign technology and suits on him and stuff like that. It's again just I'm
Still human,
speculating
though.
here. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna give the floor to Deca.
To Team Tommy.
Deca Blaze. Kenny died again. Shit. Hey, Peter, you want to take the floor?
Sure. It's funny about mentioning somebody in like Tommy under a spell and he was struggling against Jason, but we all forget that Jason was also under an evil spell in the Turbo movie, and Tommy ended up winning that fight. Jason had him on the ropes, yes, but Tommy won and kicked him over the edge. If he wanted to throw him into the volcano, he could have and killed him.
Wait, we can't make that
Easily.
argument.
Easily.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
no,
can.
we actually
They
no, we
dumb.
can't.
Hold on,
Power to
Jason.
fight against
Tommy
Tommy.
was aware of everything he was doing, though. Tommy was
Jason-
still a conscious person. Where
But
they
Jason was
turned
powered up.
Jason into like a dumb, like robot.
But he was more powerful, and Tommy
He
still
was
won.
he was dumb though. He couldn't even speak.
He was
He was
brutish
"Arr,
and powerful.
arr."
He spoke.
Yeah, he was under manipulation, though.
I'm the
That's
man
the
with the
thing.
power.
But
He
it
wasn't-
I'm the one with the muscles and the power.
It
He
increased
was, like,
his
meant-
strength. Did
They
it
turned him
increase
to
his
a
strength?
retard.
But it gave him
means nothing
strength.
if you don't know
It
what
gave
to
him
do with it.
strength. It gave him the power.
Dude,
Yeah,
let's be
but-
honest.
Tommy-
He was
and-
Incredible Hulk. They turned
Yes.
him to
Strength,
Incredible.
but strength means nothing when
That's
like
a
you
bad
don't know what to
argument.
do with it.
If he could
Yeah,
have
strength
have to-
means nothing if you're not like
He was- he
conscious.
could
He's
have-
not like
about shit.
aware, or not consciously aware of it.
He's still stronger, though. He is still
So?
stronger, though. He could
But he
have
just-
easily killed Tommy. He was choking the life out of him and still choked it away and lost.
Yeah, but Tommy was like
Mhm.
aware of like the situation going on.
Exactly. Tommy knew what was going on. He spoke. He
Jason
knew
knew
about
he wanted.
Kimberly. He knew
Jason
about the
knew he wanted to
relationship
kill
and-
him.
That's all. He was under a spell.
That increased his
Kill.
strength and he could have easily killed him, but he choked
Easily.
But
He
brute
choked it
strength
away.
means nothing. When
It
it's,
do-
if that's like your only like, but that's only like your only.
It does though, because he had him he was choking the life out of Tommy and still lost.
All right, real quick. I want you to answer this. What you think would have happened after he killed Tommy? You think
He
he'll
would have
just
killed-
live his regular life?
No, he would have
Or-
killed the rest of the team. He would have killed the rest of the Turbo Rangers.
And then what's after
Yeah.
that? Do he have a conscious mind to continue on his own after killing him?
No, the Divatox would have probably enslaved him, made him help her take over the world.
Okay. You think Rita would enslave Tommy after he killed the Ranger?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Easily.
she did it in the comic books, but he still
I'm saying
he overtook
enslave.
that.
There's a difference between, like, for example, Rita was already like in control of Tommy, telling him what to do and everything.
And then he
That's
broke
not
out of it.
technically making him a slave. I'm talking Jason was dumb and didn't have a brain when he was under a spell. So when I mean enslave Jason, she was going to make him build houses, pick up rocks and stuff.
I don't know. He would have
Where
she would have
Tommy,
conquered the
she
world
was
with him.
actually send Tommy missions.
But
Jason,
this wasn't this a test of who would win in a fight, not who has
not
the.
really, because Jason
Yeah, no. Here's
is
the
a
here's the
better
thing that
fighter
no,
when he's thinking. Jason is smart. Like, not Billy smart, obviously, but
and
if
also
you
here's
go back
another
and
thing.
watch season 1, Jason came up with some good plans.
Yeah, and also here's the thing against your argument, Peter. During that fight in Turbo, you have to think about something. Was Jason morphed or in a suit when he fought Tommy in the Turbo movie?
No,
He was just
No, he
stronger.
wasn't.
he was stronger, so that makes him
Yeah, he was
more
just
of a choke artist.
So
yeah, but
he
how do we
lyrical.
know? Yeah, but how do we know he's more?
Yeah.
But how do we know he's more powerful than him in this?
He punched Tommy with his bare fist almost into the volcano,
Yeah, so
and Tommy was powered up in his suit.
yeah, that's the thing. He was in his suit and beat Jason out of suit. Jason beat Tommy.
Was winning. Tommy had to talk him out of it and get him in that brief moment of
Yeah,
realization.
but when Jason wasn't, Jason wasn't suit, he beat his ass immediately, like nothing.
And then still lost somehow.
Sorry, I had to go on Peter's side here. I had
Not
to
only-
agree.
He's a choke artist. Not
Mhm.
only that, he was choking Tommy and then choked away the fight. I don't know. Seems pretty suspect to me.
Listen, the thing is with him, like, if Jason was using his brain, right? Let's say he's using his brain.
Yeah,
Jason would have been aware, like, what was going on. Like, think about it. Tommy literally kicked him over the edge because he's dumb. He didn't, like, know
Well, he
it was
broke him
coming.
out. That's how he broke him out of the spell for a brief second. He had like a brief moment of realization,
He was still dumb, though.
and then he
he was so
tripped.
dumb. He wasn't aware. He wasn't
it was
aware of the
actually
situation
Jason,
around him.
Jason would never been in that position. Jason.
And
would have
Jason,
just-
here's the thing: Jason knows Tommy. Like he probably knows how like his fighting style and stuff because he trains with him a lot. And if he's under that spell, he doesn't really know like the capabilities he has. It's just, I have to kill my opponents.
Jason
Jason-
had to remind Tommy.
he
Had
was
to
also
remind Jason
kidnapped.
who Tommy was.
Jason was also kidnapped by arguably the show's worst villain. That doesn't.
Yeah, but here's the thing. No. Here's
It
the
was
thing.
swimming, bro. He couldn't see. It was dark.
Here's the thing, though.
It was scuba
I have
diving at night.
I have an argument for that.
He's scuba diving at night, so he's not
No.
He's also not intelligent.
No.
You were just painting my case even further.
He was trying to
No,
smash.
here's the thing, though.
somebody
Here's the
yesterday.
thing, though. Here's the thing. There's a difference between Rita and Divatox. Divatox actually won, though. That's the thing. So arguably, she could be more powerful.
She got
We don't know.
lucky.
We don't know.
She got lucky because Elgar found the command center. Rita knew the location of it. Goldar and Rito have been in the command center. Divatox got lucky. She didn't
It's
know where it
true.
was. She just fell ass backwards into it. Lord Zed showed up in the command center once like a pimp with his chair. Divatox had to my idiot nephew found it.
I mean, at least Divatox blew the bitch up, though.
Yeah.
They did. Rito and Goldar did too. They played Spoms in it.
But to be honest, though, she did it with rookies. They ain't even have Turbo Team. Ain't even have a full season when they command center got blown up. So
Yeah,
but,
so
I mean,
she.
hey, we're on Tommy versus. We can't get too sidetracked. I want to know.
We can't.
We all know. All right, let's spit facts. We all know Jason is better, but I just want y'all to
we
try
don't.
to explain why.
We can
you
agree
think,
disagree on that one.
Yeah, we're gonna just not start Power Rangers Civil War.
I want to hear.
Yeah.
Hey, Blaze, you there? Blaze.
Guess not.
But
Blaze died. Okay, so it was 2-on-2. It was technically 3-on-2 since your man is down, but it was me, Tenkai, and Mr. Awesome
We'll say
versus
2.5.
Peter and Dan. Now it's
And I
time
dropped
for
the mic.
Chelsea, the mediator in the middle, to let us know who she think won the argument.
I don't think she was paying attention.
I was.
We don't want to count her out like that.
You both sides had good arguments. I think it really just depends on which Ranger form Tommy had. Like when he was the good.
I was gonna say, like, are we going season by season? Jason versus Tommy and Mighty Morphin?
Well,
Or
because
Jason versus Tommy and Zeo?
Jason only had 2 forms compared to Tommy's like 5. But
True.
like when he was the Green Ranger, other than being evil, he was very subdued as a Ranger. He was soft. He was
What?
I'm not
Tommy
saying
was
soft.
soft in Mighty
Yeah,
Morphin.
he was like
He
he
was
was quieter and a little shyer. And then he got
It was nice.
He was the new guy.
Right. He came into his White Ranger power and suddenly he was like the boss. And technically Jason was still there. Like even though he wasn't there, he was still there as a Ranger. So it was like, why did they just give Tommy all the power?
Yeah, Tommy was never a leader though when Jason was around. Like when Jason left, that's when Tommy was the leader.
Well, no, they made Tommy the leader the second he got the White Ranger power. Jason was technically still there as a character, just not as the actor.
It's because the hair. Tommy had better hair.
Well, I mean, we can't necessarily count that because the actor already left. It was just like voiceovers for a suit.
True.
It was a lot of screwy. So technically, Tommy has stolen the position of leader from Jason before.
yeah, but
if we're going to count actors
as
leaving,
leader than Jason.
I mean, like actually, like when the actor Austin, he was on set and they filmed his actual scene. He was always the leader. He was. I hated how like they made Tommy like the one character who was never there, right? But then like soon as they're about to lose, he just randomly show up like last minute and save them. That was so annoying.
They did all the loosening of the doorknob, whatever that phrase is.
Yeah, like Tommy has a test, so he can't make it. But right when you're about to lose, Tommy will show up the last 5 minutes of the fight and save everyone. This dumb stuff that was already leading up to him becoming a leader. But honestly, though, so Chelsea, you think it depends on what season?
I do.
So if we're going Zeo, the Gold Ranger will beat the Red. But if we're talking Mighty Morphin,
the Red
Ranger
will beat the Green.
They fought
I guess Jason's the winner
again, didn't they? They fought again in that like when Tommy went evil there, didn't they?
That's true. In King for a Day.
Yeah, Jason had to kick his butt there.
But Tommy also won that. Like they had to demorph to finally snap him out.
They had to snap him out of his programming. Tommy
but
was
Jason had to overhand the whole fight.
They had to use Cat to break him out.
Cat, huh?
That's true.
Yeah, that was Cat.
Because Tommy is what?
Because Tommy was gonna win.
No, he would have. He had the Zeo Blaster right to her. He said, "Don't you fool me!" And just he would have shot her if just 1 second more if he didn't question what was going on.
Tommy was a simp too. I'm just
So many ways the shows could have gone dark.
Yeah, you should have shot Cat. Oh my goodness.
I'm in for it.
If it was the turbo power, I don't know. I don't know.
It's a car. Cars are better than pyramids.
Am I the only one who like Cat more than Kimberly? No.
No, I love Cat. I'm more.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, Cat was good. I like her.
I was
I like
gonna
them
say
both.
Cat was the shit though. Pink Ranger. Not gonna lie.
All right, next time we're gonna be doing Kimberly versus Cat. Everyone, thanks for watching.
Aw.
We
I
all
like them
know,
both.
Cat's better.
though. Who's in the hospital bed though? That's a real question. Who got put out doing stunts?
Kat did too. She hit her head diving.
I mean, Cat
When
stuck
she was a
around though
kid.
until she was forced to transfer her powers to Casey.
The next week's battle will be who is better in the hospital bed, Kimberly or Emily's sister.
Who looked good in the hospital
Brr.
bed. But all right, guys, that was the first episode of Time for Toku Podcast. I will let you guys decide who was the better ranger.
Tell
Or who
me.
not even a better ranger. We'll just fight between the two.
My
Who would win in
future
the fight,
wife.
Jason or Jason?
Jason David Frank or Jason
Yeah.
Scott?
Jason.
JDF,
Jason Lee
hands
Scott.
down, no
JDF
question.
versus
JDF
Dino.
would definitely win in a fight.
Who's a better father these days? No, I'm joking. All right, guys.
They're probably both in the terrible
So yeah,
camp.
what about Jenna Frank? Now let me stop. So that was
That
the
is
first
cool.
episode. I am Jay Savage, and
I'm Tenkai.
I'm
I'm
Mr.
Dan.
Awesome.
I'm Peter.
Sorry.
and Deku's Kenny, who's dead,
And Chelsea.
and the queen of the podcast, Chelsea. All right, see you guys next time.
Peace. Have a good night.
See you,
Later.
bros.
No, I'm
Right.
logging
Wish you
off.
luck,